Folks, we are live. We have the Cabal backgrounds. I am wearing the Cabal shirt because we are here with the evil investor himself. Steve, how's it going, man?
Well, considering I haven't gotten wrecked, I guess it's going pretty good.
You haven't gotten wrecked yet? I heard you were supposed to.
I mean, that was the news. I mean, I'm sure there was a newsletter about it. I mean, everybody was making fun of me. But like a year and a half, 2 years later, I'm nowhere near getting wrecked.
It was talked about in the weekly Cabal meetings. I will say that you were supposed to get wrecked. No, man, but I mean, how you been, dude? Are you still alive and kicking in this hobby or what?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Let me turn the ringer off my phone. The hobby's a little weird right now. It's a little weird, as you know, and I'm not getting as much product as I was in the past. And to think that people were actually complaining about whether they wanted to spend $104 or wait till it got to 98 is wild. And, I blame you for something.
Yeah.
When I sent you that picture maybe a month or two ago about those super premium Charizard boxes, you should have told me to buy all 30 that was on the ground because I only picked up 3 of them.
Well, no, let's be honest. I really screwed up when we talked about the Chinese product and didn't get in on that.
It just doesn't make sense. And I think the part that is interesting to me is they're still not printing nearly enough. And that's a problem. The fact that
let's just get
go
started.
to Target and just stand in line for hours and then just pick up everything that they can grab with their hands and leave. Now, I don't know if some stores put limits, some stores didn't, but that was a real thing. And that's a problem.
Now, do you still have a job or did you just become a full-time scalper like everybody else?
Dude, I don't know how people are able to stand in line and scalp. It doesn't make any sense to me. Nor should it be okay taking product off the shelves like that when little kids are there with their parents trying to get an ETB box. It's not okay. I'm not in it for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to fix, right? It's like, I know some stores have tried to put limits on it, but then people just find ways around those limits, like, bring a bunch of people with them to buy it for them or whatever, go back in and out of the store a million times. I mean, I think there's people making fun of it on TikTok, like actually putting on costumes and stuff. But I mean, I'm sure people actually do that. I mean, it's getting to such an extreme state. And like you said, it all kind of revolves around not enough product for the amount of demand. And I don't know, I've never, even back during like the pandemic, which is a lot of people compare this to, it wasn't this bad because during the pandemic, it was really about like each new set would come out and it would skyrocket, right? Like, so Vivid Voltage would come out, it would go to $200. Shining Fates would come out, it'd go to 100 in ETB. Battle Styles would come out, it would go to 200, but it wouldn't stay there. They would slowly come down. They would get more product. The next like wave would come in. It would dip back down. We've never had this long of a sustained, I would say, like price of 200 plus every ETB. Everything coming out like double, triple MSRP staying there. It's never been this way until now. And so I don't think anyone really knows how to really do anything in this market.
And I'm not even sure if printing more product is the answer at this point, because let's say that they increase production by 20%. That may just get bought up with the amount of scalpers out there and with the amount of people buying and holding it and with the amount of rips going on. A 20% uptick may not even do anything to keep product on the shelves. And I know that where I get everything from, they're not getting as much as they used to.
No, and honestly, like you just talked about it, how you're not getting as much Pokemon as you used to. Obviously, I'm not even putting away as much Modern Seal as I used to. And that's sort of agreed upon pretty much anyone I talk to investing in this hobby. And so before, when things would go up, the investors were the first ones to get blamed, right? No one really blames investors anymore because most investors aren't really investing at $250 a booster box when it's brand new. So it's not the investors hogging all the product and hoarding it. It has to either be, scalpers taking it off the shelves and then Rip and Chips opening it, because here's the thing, the scalpers have to sell to somebody. And so either there's that many people out there just wanting to pay $100 in ETB, like black and white, to open it, or there's just enough rip and ships going on to go through that much product. And I think there obviously is right now.
There's also another theory that is not original by me, but I read this or heard this somewhere, that people are trying to open boxes and put every common card up for 99 cents on eBay because eventually they will sell. And when you do the math on it, based on the amount of rares and whatever else is in the box, you can still make money if you have time on your hands. So I don't know if that's actually true or not, but I've seen multiple things about that.
Well, hey man, I know our local card shop. I'm lucky to live next to a pretty large scale local card shop. I was speaking with them about their bulk process and all of that. They currently run 6 Roca machines. So
6.
they run 6 Roca machines.
That's a lot.
They have an entire back of the house operation separate from their front of the house, business. And that's a lot of it. It's about envelopes. Pretty much anyone I talk to in the bulk game, it's all about shipping envelopes because TCG Player, the minimum price, what is it, like $137 an envelope now? eBay, you can set a certain shipping price you want to get to. And basically when you subtract like your shipping costs and with the card river, people are just trying to, they know their margins are X amount per envelope they ship. And so they're trying to get up to, I want to ship 100 envelopes a day, 200 envelopes, 500 envelopes a day. And that's kind of the game. And so I get that, if you put a 99-cent card on TCG Player, and it sells, and then the TCG Player charges them $1.37 to ship it. Well, now, you got 237, 236 coming in. It's costing you 1 stamp. You're making $1 something per card. I get it. It's very high volume. It's a lot of work, but the margins are there.
And it's a margin game at this point. And I do think a lot of people are just trying to break down boxes. I mean, I know it happens in Magic. I think it does happen in Pokemon.
You mean break down boxes for resale?
Break down boxes for the common cards, put them up for 99 cents each. Buyer pays the shipping, and they make their margin. I mean, how many cards are in a box?
In a box?
I've never opened a box of Pokemon cards. I have no idea how many cards
10,
are in the pack.
I think it's 10, but I'm not sure if that's counting the energy. I mean, 10, let's say 10 cards times 36 packs, 360. If you don't count the energies, maybe 324, something like that.
I mean, even if you sell the energies, let's just say it's 10 cards, 36 packs, 360 cards. Even if you sell each card for 99 cents, let's say you don't get a single hit, you're still at $360.
Yeah, the problem is the sell through, though, right? Like, how much are they actually going to sell through?
Sure. But there's still margin there. If you're able to get boxes at $1.80, even at $1.80, if you have a sell through rate of 240 or 260, that's a good margin.
Yeah. No, I know there a lot of people. Here's the thing, right? Because the hobby is so much more successful now than it's ever been, you're having a lot more business-minded individuals come into it, and they're searching for every one of those margins. Like they're searching for any possible way you can make a margin in the hobby. Obviously at the ground floor, that is the scalpers, just like, oh, well, I can just catch a drop and I can flip it for a double online. But then there's the other individuals who just really break down every single thing, every product with promo cards, with extra items. How much is the extra item worth? What's the promo card worth? How much are the packs? And even if I can make a small percentage, if I can do this at a large enough level, I'll buy, 10,000 units and break them down. And even if I'm making 5%, I'm still making, multiple thousands of dollars a month. And that is just kind of where the hobby's headed is people are just really kind of gamifying the business. And, I mean, I don't know, better or worse, it's happening.
A lot of people are turning this into a secondary job where they can turn a hobby into a couple of grand a month. And there's a lot of people doing that now, in my opinion, and it's really depleting what you can get on shelves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what are you seeing around you?
Well, I'm going through the Hasbro. I think I showed this to you last time I came. I'm just looking at their Q2 earnings, and it's simply amazing. I just share it.
Got it.
So let me make it a little bigger. Wizards of the Coast in Q2 did $522 million in revenue, and their operating margin was just over 46%. Once again, I mean, entertainment was barely profitable. It is still the lion's share of all profitability coming in. Now,
Yeah.
Hasbro did not have a great quarter per se with their net earnings. I haven't gone through it. I don't know why. This is the first time I'm looking at it. I brought it up because I want to see what Wizards is doing. And it's not like this is now a $2 billion asset, Wizards of the Coast, in digital gaming. Large proportion of that's Magic. Like, the numbers are actually wild. I can only imagine how much the Pokemon Company is printing off of this. I think there's more than enough room for them to print more. It's just, will that do anything?
Right. Yeah, and then you have guys on the other side of things, like on the sports card side, which is probably going to make its way to the Pokemon. Jeff Wilson with the PSA mystery packs.
You saw? Did I tell you that? I told you that,
We
right?
talked about it. We talked
Yeah.
about it.
So, did you watch the video?
Yeah.
Wild, right?
Yeah, guys. So what's happening is, like there's a lot of mystery products out there. Well, this one, Jeff Wilson, he's the owner of Cards HQ, huge figure in the sports world. If you don't know who he is, he's, one of the largest players, whatever. He is basically having PSA partner with him, sponsor a mystery product that PSA is basically guaranteeing the odds, guaranteeing the legitimacy of the slabs, all those things, and making mystery products with PSA involved. And so the big money is just, they're chomping at the bit to start getting involved in all of this kind of like secondary market play.
The fact that Jeff Wilson called Nat Turner, who's the CEO of Collectors, which owns PSA, and got this to be a PSA official, where PSA is doing all the checking to guarantee everything is real, it's all random. So if he puts up 450 cards in the lot, 450 cards are going out. It's random which pack you get. And there could be a 1957 Mickey Mantle in there, PSA 2. There could be a Shohei Ohtani PSA 10 in there. I mean, it's just the fact that PSA is now getting involved with this, and Jeff Wilson just basically said, okay, we're done playing around. This is what we're doing. It just goes to show you how much money is moving into these hobbies.
Yeah, and so guys, me and Steve talk a lot, like off stream and stuff, and I always like talking with Steve because we get to talk more of like the business, like the numbers, the sort of like the investing side behind it, not really just like the Pokemon products investing, just like the large corporation, large players investing. And I don't think enough people are speaking about, and I know people hate hearing this. People like, I would say like hardcore collectors at their core, like casuals, they hate hearing this, but you can't deny it, right? The big money starting to move into this. I mean, you're already seeing partnerships be made, PSA, GameStop, like Nat Turner on their board. You're seeing these partnerships be made. You're seeing Fanatics throw ridiculous money into creating a sports card marketplace. They have their Fanatics Live now. They're wanting breakers to do well. They're supporting it with, promotions and dollars. And, we were talking about it, speculating more. We don't know, have any ground, proof, but how long is it? And is it already happening that actual large investment funds are starting to allocate some money to things like this because they're seeing the gains? They're finally open to it and seeing that it is sort of a established enough market. Because here's the thing, man. I mean, for one of these large funds to like start putting some money into play here, it's like a rounding error for them to throw 25, 50 million at, starting to make some plays in this. And that can do a lot of damage to a market like this.
I think we've already seen it start to happen. And there are people, I'm not going to name names, but people that have been approached that have said, hey, we'll fund you blank check $4 or $5 million to get an equity piece if you want to open up a shop and do this, because they have a lot of success on YouTube, going around to shows, buying and selling. I mean, there are big money looking to stake people who have already made a reputation in it. It is wild what is going on behind the scenes. And Big money's already here. Now, I think it's going to get even bigger because there's more eyes on it because of Michael Rubin. And I think that that ripple effect of what he is doing is moving into the TCG market because over the past 2 years, a lot of smart people have seen how inefficient the market was. And now maybe this is just a situation where the market's become efficient or more efficient than it was. And that's why pricing is where it is.
Yeah, and people are just resistant to change. And I mean, you saw it kind of when the streaming culture kind of like took over almost like regular television or like the Hollywood industry, and everyone kind of wrote YouTubers and streamers off as like kind of like a joke. And now they're almost like A-list celebrities, and that's where like a lot of the advertising dollars are going. And you're starting to see streamers and stuff get contracts like you would see NBA players get and rappers and things. And so it's just like it's just kind of, I think it's just the part of the growth, right? You're starting to see real money understand that this whole online content, like, having a following, it's not a joke. And then they're seeing all of these kind of markets that are unregulated industries, right? I mean, here's the thing. Perfect example right now. A lot of people have already heard Paldea Evolve is supposed to get a reprint. Now, I've been on the phone. I've talked to Eli, Pokemart USA. He's got a slew of distributors, spends, almost $1 million a month with them. He can't confirm anything. I messaged my distributor, can't confirm anything. There's no confirmation from Pokemon themselves. There's no confirmation from distributors, but I think Notify maybe was the one put a thing out that Paldea Evolve is getting a reprint. Now, in the stock market, if you did something like that and didn't become true, you can get in a lot of trouble, right? You get in a lot of trouble for trying to manipulate things with false news. But like with Pokemon market, you can do things like that. You can throw things out. And again, I think the Paldea Evolve thing is going to be true. I think there's probably something getting reprinted, probably not boxes, but like sleeve blisters or something. But the thing is, these markets get swayed by rumors. They get swayed by, a big name like Rudy, Alpha Investments talking about something. They get swayed by a PokeRev talk. And so it's like, once investors with money start realizing that, and they realize, well, put some words behind it, put a few, 5, 10, 20 million behind it. What could we actually get done in this market that maybe we couldn't get done in the equity markets because, they're too regulated. The currency markets and the crypto markets, they're too competitive. There's too many sharks there. What about these collectible spaces? What can we do here?
Hypothetically, you could theoretically, if you had that type of money, go on a little buying spree and get somebody who has some influence to say that there's a reprint coming of something that there is no reprint coming, buy everything up on the way down. And then when that rumor gets destroyed and prices go back up, they dump everything on the way up. Complete manipulation with no recourse.
Right.
Could easily happen. All you need is 4 or 5 X accounts that have good followings to do that. So that could easily happen. Now, if people are doing that, who knows? But there's no way to tell if they are or if they aren't.
You already see it with like TCG Player with some of these buyouts that happen on single cards. People target cards that they find that have a low quantity listed on the market, and they can run the price up, and they obviously sell once it hits there, and they sell on the way down and usually make some profit doing so. But I mean, doing that at a large scale with sealed products, when you have, like I said, 7 and 8 figure, kind of war chest behind you, it does. I think people are they almost see the market as bigger than it is, right? It is a big market. Pokemon's $1 billion company, all that stuff. But each individual product, it's not as, the market cap isn't as high as people think. And if you have enough money, you can legitimately move these markets pretty quickly.
So the real question is, from an investment side, are we going to be able to see the gains that we've seen? And I'm going to give you an example. I'm looking at my spreadsheet. So on February 14th, 2024, around a year and a half ago, I picked up a Lost Origin booster box and ETB bundle on eBay. Okay. 158.77 was the price. After tax, it was 172.86. Right now, the two of them combined on TCG Player, I redid everything about an hour ago, 616. I mean, I'm up 256% on that.
It's decent.
In a year and a half. So now the question becomes, with the next error that gets printed, if the new norm is 180 to 220, depending on if you know somebody at a shop or if you're just paying shop prices or if a shop is trying to undercut everybody else in the area, we'll use 180 to 220 for the range. Are we going to be able to see those types of gains? And if we're not, then does it start to dry up and does it start to come down a little bit? I don't know what's going to happen.
Now everyone always hates when I do it, and I'm not. I'm gonna
don't do it.
No, I gotta preface it. I gotta preface this by saying, equity positions are different because there is actual, a company, employees, they have sales, all those things. But do you own any stocks that do not pay dividends that have ran 10, 20, 50x over the years, but you still buy them?
There's something that I have that's done incredible, and I will not buy anymore. And I think it should be significantly lower than it is.
Okay, we won't use the P word.
Okay,
but what about like Nvidia? People still buy that.
Dude, I was buying Nvidia last month.
What about Apple? People still buy that.
I haven't been buying Apple.
Okay, well, just
but
as an example,
I bought Nvidia heavily over the past 6 months.
Right, and I think you'd probably agree that most people are realizing they're not going to see the gains that people saw with Nvidia who bought 2 years ago.
No, but
right,
Nvidia could still run.
That's my point. Is I'm not arguing certainly that you're going to see gains like we saw when boxes were $80, $90. But now that the market's more established, more trusted, there's more people now than ever. Rudy's talked about this. It's weird. It's a higher price, but it's almost a safer bet because of how strong the market is. And no, maybe we won't see 200%, 250% in a year, but maybe you still see 50, 80% in a year, maybe 100%. It's like, I still think the gains can outpace a more traditional type of investment. And that's kind of why I keep doing it. So I don't know.
The way that I'm looking at it now is there was a point in time where the shop that we buy from could not get rid of these boxes. And I'm looking at my sheet, and I was buying boxes of Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, Obsidian for 105 or 100 a box. Like, those days are gone. Now, I'm looking at this saying, okay, if those are worth 2 to 250, whatever it is, Paldea Evolved is an outlier at the moment. Can it go from 200 for new boxes in the next era to 300 or 320 when right now Paldea is really the only one from a booster that's over 300 in that set? Yeah. So maybe it can. I'm just wondering if the rate of return is going to diminish a little bit and if that's going to put people off, or is the demand for singles and the demand for chasing and is the demand for piecing everything out and breaking everything down so strong that it doesn't matter and the cycle is just going to continue with product being ripped and less and just being scarce. So I think that that's really what made this boom with Scarlet and Violet. Nobody liked it until one day everybody's ripping packs trying to chase these chase cards, and now there's no product. You can't get product.
I think the rate will slow down, the rate of return. But I still think it'll be above average, and I still think it can be high enough to make sense. Like, I think, the CAGR on it, was a lot of people like to look at, will still outpace enough to make sense to store the product and have to pay the shipping and fees at the end. I think your rate of return will still be better, but that's, again, it's an opinion. No one knows.
I mean, I'm still buying every set that comes out. I'm still buying what I can get my hands on. Is I'm getting a price that's under what fair market value at open is, and I'm looking at in an aggregate. I have some Japanese stuff in here, and I have stuff that I paid up for on certain things. I'm up 128% on my sealed product in exactly 2 years about.
Not
because
bad.
I'm looking at when I bought some of this stuff. Some of it is July 13th, 2023. Those were the first sealed product buys.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I mean,
and the great part too is, a lot of people like, I don't know if people use Probstein or not, but once these cases breach over $1,000, Probstein will only
you
charge you
don't know, I
5%
don't know if you
fees.
want to go there and give away the secret, but you kind of just did.
Just saying.
But yeah, I mean, it's something you and I talked about that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, it doesn't matter. You can give away these secrets. No one ever does it. You got to remember, like, they're not really barriers to entry. They're like, they're
You want to put in the work and spend the money. That's all.
not even that. It's like, it's this fear. Like, people have fear about, because they hear the stories, right? Getting scammed. Oh, I don't want to ship to this person. I don't know. I don't really trust it. Like
I'm going to
they
go
want to
on
like,
eBay right now and I'm going to bring up his stuff.
yeah, it's again, you can come up with like a million reasons to not do something. Even no matter how many success stories, it's kind of like this whole investing in Pokemon. Like, we can show you however many years of success with how many people I can, I can bring person over person with testimonial, and people will still come out with a reason on, why it's not for them, why it's not going to work. And you just can't talk sense into some people. That's why I'm not worried about giving away any secrets. No one does it anyway. They just watch my video to get content to go make another video talking about how stupid I am.
So the gentleman that the cabal is talking about right now is Probstein, who has sold 5.7 million items on eBay, has 152,000 followers, and 99.5% positive feedback. I mean, the fact that you have 99.5% positive feedback on 5.7 million items sold is insanity. Absolutely insanity. So, unlike eBay, I believe eBay charges 13.5% to sell Pokemon cards or sports cards. And then a lot of times you have to pay up for advertising to get your product to the top of the funnel. It's another 3 to 5%, I believe. If you send an item to Probstein and it's over $1,000, you only pay 5% because he has deals worked out with eBay where he gets much lower rates because of what he does. He's one of the biggest or the biggest consignment house, and then DC Sports. I think DC
Not to
Sports
mention those.
is 7%.
Not to mention their auctions usually do go
Higher.
around buy it now, sometimes higher than buy it now prices. Meaning, if you're worried about not getting full market price, you usually do.
Or above because of the amount of people that bid on his auctions because everybody trusts. He's got a whole team. If you look up some of his videos from past nationals, which is it's the Super Bowl of sports card conventions, he'll bring 20 or 30 1986 Michael Jordan Fleer rookies in a PSA 10 condition with him. And the guy brings tens of millions of dollars of product to the shows.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the authorities in this. It's just absolutely wild. And to think that you can send it to him, pay a 5% fee instead of paying eBay 13.5%, and they do all the work and they already have the following with their list of everybody that buys from them. It just makes sense that you can do that. So if you buy right, you can theoretically do well doing that.
Yeah, and then I want to address some of these things in the comments. So
I haven't even been looking.
no, it's not nothing bad. It's just a lot of people always ask this. I can't even find where they were. Anyways, like there's always people that say like, well, people will be phased out of the hobby. The hobby will get too expensive. Who's going to buy these items when that time comes? And what I always have to explain, like to friends of mine too, when we have this conversation, is you need to stop thinking like you. You need to think like the average person, the average consumer, because when you start thinking like you, the 230 people in here, by the way, thanks for showing up on a Friday night to listen to us gab about this. But you're thinking like the 1% of the hobby who is this deep into it. You're watching two guys talk about hobby finance on a Friday night. No one's thinking about this. One of the conversations, I think I made a video about it, I've had with a lot of people is eBay. Okay. eBay is a pay to play platform now. If you don't know that, it is. So how eBay works now is you can promote your listings with an ad fee, and they promote it. It puts it to the top of the list. And see, everyone here probably thinks like, well, I shop by lowest first. I shop where I get the deal. I check eBay, TCG Player. I check here, check there. I get the best deal, or I wait. Okay, great. You do. No one does that. Like 99% of people don't do that. And so all you have to do on eBay to get sales is you just jack your items up with a 2.5%, sometimes 10% ad fee on top of the fees. And then what do you do with the item? You just jack the item up 5, 10, 15%. And guess what? It still sells. And then you see those sales in eBay. You're like, well, how did that one sell so high? Because the person paid an ad fee to get to the top of the list. Regular person logs on. They see a nice picture. They click on the listing. It's from a legitimate seller. They buy it. It's just a point of purchase buy. They don't think about it too long. That is your average consumer in the hobby. And so this idea that you're trying to think about how you would approach an item to buy in the future, you need to think about how regular people approach it. Like when I was in my card shop today, I was watching people walk in buying black and white ETBs at $100 a piece, not even questioning it. Some were walking over to the tables, opening it. They're not thinking about all the dollars and the cents that we are. It's a different demographic you're selling to in the future.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
This is blowing my mind right now. I can't believe this. So, PSA grading. Okay. This is really crazy.
Here we go.
What percentage of cards graded in the past 30 days of PSA do you think is TCG?
I'm going to say 58%.
You did not just say that.
Is that it?
58.95%. I don't know how
they say Alex doesn't know the market.
You must have looked at gem rate recently.
I didn't. I'm just that in tune, man.
Shocked. 58.95%. PSA has graded 1.58 million cards in the past 30 days, which is insane. And TCG is 931,779. Almost a million TCG cards have been graded in 30 days. That doesn't include CGC. The hobby is not slowing down. And there's also another thing. A lot of people test their luck with buying a box, trying to go for the chase card, and if they pull it, sending it in to try to get a PSA 10 to flip. And then they look at it as put up all the rest of 99 cents or whatever it is on eBay to try to get their initial investment out.
Yep. Another thing I wanted to discuss. Gundam. The show Gundam, the cartoon?
I don't know the cartoon, but I know it's only from seeing Instagram stuff that it's this thing they paint the little figures.
Right. So there's a Gundam TCG now.
Yeah.
The new set it was released today. Guess how much the boxes are selling for, at least at my card shop?
How much?
$200.
And where are they supposed to sell for?
Well, I mean, it's just another TCG that's selling for $200. Oh, hold on. Final Fantasy.
You are buying Magic now?
These packs are selling.
When did you start buying Magic?
Well, I stream it. I open it on stream.
You started opening Magic on stream?
Dude, these Final Fantasy packs selling for over $120.
No, they're not.
So people in Pokemon are complaining about prices when they're $10 a pack. Magic community pays over $100 a pack.
Well, there's also a reason they have serialized cards.
Right. But what I'm saying is this idea that hobbies are getting too expensive and we think Pokemon's too expensive because packs cost $6, $7, $8, $9, $10. We're nowhere close to too expensive.
Go look at sports cards. Sports cards is insane. I mean, boxes of football cards, boxes that I would have never thought would be going for this much are going for like $700, $800 of like optic and stuff like that. Like, okay, Topps Chrome for baseball just came out. The jumbo boxes are going for like $574. I'm like, who pays this? Who pays that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But the prices keep going up, and there is no shortage of buyers for it, no matter how crazy it seems.
I'm gonna blow everyone's mind again, because I see people saying, "Alex, it's a different kind of pack that's more equivalent to a hobby pack in sports." All right, great. Let me throw this at you guys. Okay, I sell more Evolving Skies, Hidden Fates. Name an expensive set, right? I sell more of that than I do Scarlet Violet base set, than I do Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift. How do you explain that?
There's a reason for that.
People want a chase. It's not about the pack cost. It's about the chase inside. And that's why people just that they don't understand. They think they want cheap packs, but what they don't understand is if you have really cheap packs, that means you have no value in the packs. So
That's
people want
exactly, you just said the key word. It's all about value. To get
people want value.
extracting value out of the pack.
People want value, and it's just it's going to be that way till the end of time. Doesn't matter if it's Pokemon, Gundam, Magic, whatever card game you want to insert. That's just how it is. I mean,
It's wild. And then with the grading scene, I'm sure you saw that SGCP resigned.
SGCP. What? No,
The CEO of SGC resigned.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he resigned yesterday or the day before. So now who knows what's going to happen because PSA acquired SGC like last year. I have a theory that with him resigning now, their PSA is going to they're going to pick a year, 1980 for argument's sake. Anything 1980 and above goes to PSA. Anything 1979 and below goes to SGC. And that's what they'll do because SGC built its business off of vintage. So I think we could see something like that where SGC becomes the prominent grader for vintage. We'll see if that happens or not. But you look at these grading companies, nobody's able to take PSA out. I mean, CGC yesterday graded 12.5 thousand items. PSA graded 82,000 items. It just, nobody's able to come close. And then Beckett, which I happen to think is the tied for the best, in my opinion. I like the slab. I like that they do all 4 grades on it. I really like the whole thing. They did 4,000 cards. Like, they are doing nothing in the market right now. And I'll tell you who I like the most right now. You're going to laugh. I am becoming a big fan of Tag. I'm becoming a big fan of Tag. I like the way the slab looks. And I think the digital thing is really interesting. Why are you making those faces? Is Tag not
I'm
good?
not making a face. I am.
You went like this when I said Tag. Like, what's wrong with that?
I knew you were going to say it. I just knew it.
But when I think about value, because now I'm starting to go into a contrarian value mode with cards. If Tag is really that strict and really blows everything up that much and is more precise than everybody else, and they give you the report when you go to their website, shows you every little thing. If you get a really good Tag 10 at a discounted rate, shouldn't you theoretically be able to crack that and go send it to PSA?
I guess my rebuttal is like,
it's work.
Who sells most hamburgers?
Well, I get it, McDonald's.
Are they the best?
Arguably.
I think it's less about
you can't put In-N-Out or something like that against McDonald's. If you want to talk McDonald's, it's McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's. You can't put other people in that conversation.
I know. I just think that it's less about building a better mousetrap, and it's more about convincing the collectors who actually buy the stuff that to actually want your slab. And so I don't think it's enough to say that even if they had undeniable proof that they're more consistent than PSA and all this stuff, I just don't know if you're gonna convince the collector market by and large
There's only one way to
buy
do
those
it.
slabs. Yeah,
they have to come out with that machine. They got to give it away for free to all the shops and have every shop push it. Because if your turnaround time is 10 minutes when you walk into a shop, who the hell is going to wait 45 to 60 days from PSA?
Yeah, the wait time is definitely a problem.
It's a huge problem.
I know people that have literally shifted their entire business models because it no longer works, especially the way the market can shift in the amount of time your slabs are sitting there, the amount of capital that you have locked up there because of how long you have to wait. It's honestly, I mean, they did a good thing, partnering with eBay and things and doing the straight to auction and you be able to do that. That was great. It makes it more liquid and faster. But I mean, if you can't get the grades done fast enough, I mean,
and the fees to expedite it are so expensive that unless you're playing with very large cards, it makes no sense.
Yeah. And that's what I've resorted to. Every one of my orders now is sent at the $40 tier because I'll send everything that has, They're multiple $100 cards, if not over 1,000. They have, very high PSA 10 values. And that's really the only thing I feel comfortable in, because I don't want to send a bunch of bulk cards at the bulk rate and then, the market drop on a bunch of them. And then we get some nines. And now the nines are no longer barely breaking even, maybe losing a little. Now you're losing your ass on them. And the tens, you're not even making that much because it dropped too much. It's just not worth the risk.
It's still amazing that PSA has this big of a stranglehold on the market. Like, I think I don't even think it's a better slab than SGC. I actually like the SGC slab a lot. I like the tuxedo look of it. I think it's really good. And I'm just shocked Beckett has fallen off so much. It doesn't make sense why. And
4,000 is pretty alarming.
I mean, I'm sorry. Beckett should have got rid of the 9.5 gem mint. Nobody wants to see a 9.5. Get rid of it.
So we've talked about pop reports before.
Yep.
The 151 Charizard has now been graded over 60,000 copies and has almost 20,000 PSA 10s.
Wow.
When is it too much? Or is it too much ever?
Well, it's interesting that you say that. I actually built something the other day. I was going back and forth with Evan because I wanted to buy something at the East Coast National. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to get. And let me show this to you.
And by the way, the sports card hobby has that.
We'll weave this back into your Charizard question.
Yeah, the sports card hobby, dude, with the serialized, Pokemon needs to eventually adopt that.
Yeah. So these prices are a couple of days old. I'm sure that they changed. So share the screen, please.
Oh, let's do it.
Is this too small?
If you could go a little bigger, be better. Yeah. Perfect. There we go.
All right. So I'm looking at LeBron James Topps Chrome rookies, Tom Brady Bowman Chrome rookies, and Steph Curry rookies. Now let's focus on here for a sec. So I went to PSA, SGC, and BGS. Total graded is, and I did just the 10s, the 9s, and the 8s for PSA, the 10 pristine, 10, 9.5, and 9s for SGC, and then black label 10 pristine, gem mint 9.5, and 9 for BGS. The Curry has significantly less cards graded than LeBron for basketball. I mean, it's less than half. And the Brady does not have that many rookies graded at all. And now I start looking at the PSA 10s. LeBron has just over 10,000 PSA cards graded, and the 10 has a 23.94% rate. It's 2,400 of them. Now I go down to the Curry PSA.
Which for Pokemon, that's extremely low. For sports cards, is that considered low as well? As far as
I think LeBron would be normal. I don't look at a ton of pop reports, just stuff I'm looking to invest in. But what's interesting is the Curry has half the amount of cards graded. So the LeBron had just over 10,000. The Curry's got just over 5,100. But there's only 371 PSA 10s.
Yeah, that's insanely low. 7%. Wow.
And the PSA 10 is the last price was $9,600, whereas the LeBron was almost $5,000. So now it becomes a value thing where there's so many less Currys that it's like, that really may make sense. And then I look at the Bradys, and there's not a lot of PSA 10 Bradys at $9,000 a pop. And then I'm like, okay, which one has more value? LeBron's going to be in the Hall of Fame next year or the year after, depending on if this is his last year. He's going to be a first ballot unanimous, most likely. I can see his rookie card running. But then when I look at the rarity, I'm like, man, that Curry really makes a lot of sense. So going back to your Charizard question, when I hear those numbers, I think that's crazy because LeBron, there's only just over 19,000 cards graded from the top three. And you're saying that Charizard has 60,000 graded from just PSA. I mean, that's a lot. Those are huge print runs. Huge.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's just like the condition rarity has always been a huge thing in the hobby. I mean, PSA 10s are just like, it seems like they've always been sought after. I think they always will. But, it's just like, to what end? Like, to what, how much of a premium will people continue to pay over the raw or the PSA 9 if it gets too out of hand is what I always think, especially when there's that many out there. But then the only saving grace, I look at things like the Umbreon VMAX, the Moonbreon. It's still, I believe it's over 15,000 PSA 10s now. There's almost never more than 100 of them on the market. Like, so it never has more than 1% of the total population on the market ever. And it's on a run now. It's running back to $3,000 a card. And I'm looking at that Charizard and I'm like, well, 151, most iconic set of the era. And it's Charizard and it's only $700. Probably got some room to go.
I think some people from a mid streamer here.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mentioned it today on his market close, and somebody said, "Holy shit, it's Steve! He's a spreadsheet ninja."
I love it.
That's hilarious.
Man, is Amit just like living in the penthouse, living the good life?
Amit's doing good, man.
Did he get Palantir tatted across his back?
Yeah, I mean, if Palantir gets to a certain amount, he should get a Palantir tattoo. He really
needs to.
He needs to. You know what he needs to do? He needs to watch the Lord of the Rings. He's never seen Lord of the Rings, and his favorite company is named after it. So, ridiculous. But, yeah, the Charizard 60,000, that's a big print run. And that's something that, to me, I'm like, at what point does Pokemon do what Magic did with the serialized cards? Because now that's the big thing with sports is numbered cards, refractors, which are limited runs, and then auto and jersey cards that are out of a certain amount. I mean, it's just, you look at some of these numbers that these cards are fetching, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the other funny part too, like when you talk about the print runs, right? And this is kind of like the argument that, I would say like the people who are like, I don't want to say like against me, but I kind of like getting the most like tuffles with in the Pokemon hobby is, people keep saying they need to print it into the ground, right? And I always come back with, there's 60,000 of these Charizards. Don't you think it's been printed pretty much? We've never seen pop reports this high other than a few cards in the hobby. Don't you think it's been printed pretty much into the ground? I think people's problem is their only view of print into the ground is if the packs go back to $4. It's like, well, 151 packs are still $12. They need to print into the ground. It's like, dude, there's 60,000 Charizards. You don't think they've done that?
They already printed it into the ground. It's crazy.
That's the point. It's like, I just think people are having a hard time coming to grips with the fact that there's more demand ever from this hobby. And even when printing these sets to the ground, the money's still there.
The late 80s was the junk wax era. How many times have you heard junk wax era?
Oh, man, every month.
Okay. We're going to look at 1989 Upper Deck.
99 Upper Deck? Oh, geez.
No, 1989 Upper Deck with the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie. Okay? This is the litmus test. Okay. This is kind of crazy, but this is when things get obscene. So I just beat the Charizard. This is probably the most graded card that I can think of.
All right.
116,000 copies graded.
But only 4,000 tens.
Less than 4%.
That is a super condition rarity card.
Yeah. Yes.
See, so that makes sense then. Like, I could see the 10 holding a very high premium. Think about this, guys. I always think about this. Ken Griffey Jr., one of the most iconic players in history, right? Yes. Only 4,212 people in the entire world can own that card.
Let's see what the difference between a 9 and 10 is. So a 9 goes for $231, and a 10 goes for $4,000.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yep.
Huge difference.
Another, I mean, dude, another thing to think about with all this stuff, right, is, Pokemon Center, Walmart, they'll put these queues up where if you get in the queue and wait for your turn to purchase an item, right? And these queues will have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people waiting in the queue, right? So there's hundreds of thousands of people. And I don't even partake in this. You don't partake in it. So there's millions of other people that don't even try. Okay. You have all these people in the hobby wanting relatively the same cards usually. And people are trying to tell me, oh, no way that card's worth anything if it has 20,000 population. You have hundreds of thousands, millions of people wanting these worldwide, but there's not going to be 20,000 of them that can pay that much for that card. Am I to believe that?
Well, I mean, think about it. Go look at Rolex. Rolex makes 1 million watches a year, and it is a premium luxury brand. I'm not going to get into a debate over AP or Patek or the other stuff. Like, I don't care. Rolex is a super premium brand. It is what it is. And some people will say, well, who's buying Rolexes? Well, if you make 1 million pieces a year, and then you have a men's line and a women's line, and each line has so many different models and versions, then the GMTs, which are arguably the most popular, the Pepsi, the Batman, the Batgirl, the Hulk, and the Bruce Wayne, if they're only making 10,000 units of each one, I'm just throwing numbers out there, and you have a global economy of collectors and flippers and investors trying to acquire these, and there's only 10,000 of it made, and the retail price is 12 grand, it's going to be pretty hard to get them. So I get it. I'm with you.
And here's the other thing, right? So you hear a lot of people, right? You repeat the mantra, buy low, sell high. Things are high now.
Right.
You need to sell, right? Well, I made a video about it. I just want to get your take. I just want to hear your honest take, right? Okay, so we got, I don't know if the Dow Jones dropped again, but the Dow was over 35,000 or 45,000. So highest ever. We've got Bitcoin that's a little lower than 120 now, but it hit all-time high. Ethereum, same thing. You literally have every market at all-time highs. Pokemon market, all-time high. You sell, what do you do with the money? Do you put it in another market that's at its all-time high as well?
I mean, look, that's a subjective question to a circumstance. You need more context. Why are you selling? Do you need the money? Do you have a life event? Are you looking to de-risk? I mean, there's a lot of factors.
So we're going to say the factors are you don't need the money. You just feel like you've made the gains you set out to make. You want to take your gains, but you don't need the money. And, obviously you don't want cash sitting there for too long. So
Right.
what else would you do with the cash if you sold Pokemon right now?
So this is what I always say to people. There's never, let me put a disclaimer out there real quick.
Not financial advice.
No, I'm not going to say that. Everything I'm going to say is backed up by data, and I'm going to show the data. Not saying that anybody should do this. This is my own personal opinion based off of real data. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It cannot be disputed. Okay? And I'm going to bring up a chart of the S&P to discuss this before I start talking. So we can have the S&P chart up. So no matter when you look at this, this is the S&P going back to 95. So it's a 30-year chart, okay? We're now in a situation where over the past 30 years, we've had the dot-com crisis, 9/11, financial crisis, mortgage crisis. You've had the oil supply shortage in 2015. You had the interest rates starting to go up in 2018. You had the pandemic. You had inflation go sky high. You had supply chain risks. You've had geopolitical tensions with the war in Ukraine. You had trade wars with China. You now had the Israel event with Hamas, the recent trade war that we just got into, which is this dip here. No matter when you decide to buy, it's never been a bad time to buy for long-term investors. Previous day excluded because we can't predict the future. But if you had bought at the top of the pandemic when the S&P was at 33.27, and then a month later, it goes down to, I can't get to that little part. Let's see if I can go 10-year chart, get a little more accurate. Goes down to about 2,300. So, you take a 33% loss pretty much in a month and a half, and you think that everything's going to hell because stuff is closed down that's never closed before. And then, oh, look at that. 4 months later, you're back. And then it keeps going.
And again, and that's
keeps
going.
If
you don't buy more
and then
on the way down.
2021 happens. You get a huge run up, and then you get a huge crash in 2022. Amazon's down 50%. Apple was the only thing holding the market up for a while, and that ended up getting chopped 30-40%. And you go from almost 4,800 to, down to 3,500 again. And then guess what? You're back. And then think about the trade war. We were at 6,100 or so. Market went down by over 20%. We were in a bear market, and then the market ripped back over 30%. Like, it's
what those dips remind me of? They remind me of like mini reprints.
You could look at it like that. But the answer to your question is, if you are in individual equities and you made a bunch of money on it and you want to de-risk because you want to protect your gains, but where do you put the money? Betting on America has never failed for long-term investors. There are absolutely times when you put money in that you're just putting it in the wrong time over a 3-6 month period or even a year period. But on a long-term basis, this has been a strategy because the American economy keeps expanding. And the thing that people have to realize is 30 years ago, pensions were the big retirement thing, not 401k plans. Now it's flipped. Pensions are a thing of the past, and pretty much everything is either a 401 or a 403b. So now you have forced buying every 2 weeks and people putting it on autopilot. And the most popular investments from what I've seen are total index funds or S&P funds. And when you have forced buying every 2 weeks, that money gets taken off the top of your paycheck. It goes into whatever the mutual fund is. And guess what the largest companies in there are? NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft. So you get forced buying. And that's part of the reason why the market keeps going up, because there's so much liquidity going in. So can it keep going up? I think it will, because earnings keep expanding. But I can't tell the future. But where do you put your money? There's places to put money, even at all-time highs, because think about how many all-time highs we've hit in the past. And everybody's like, oh, this is crazy. But it keeps going up.
I'm going to share the screen too. It'd be funny to overlay this chart because, guys, I'm going to show this chart. And I can show any box you want. It shows team up. Pick out for me where any of those crises happen. Now, this is only since 21, but just look at this, guys. This is a Pokemon sealed product. Can you pick out where anything happened in the economy or the market?
Go to April. Keep going. Go to April this year where it looks like we got a little dip. Stop right there. Go back one. So what?
43 to 40. No, it's just sideways.
February. Yeah, it's just sideways during the trade war.
And then look, we can even look like Cosmic. I mean, it's had more sideways, but it's like, this idea. And by the way, guys, this is the time when all the reprints were talking. A lot of people talk about this, like, oh, it's the next Shining Fates, Vivid Voltage, Darkness and Battle Styles, all these things. This is when all those sets were getting reprinted. Do you see how none of these boxes were affected at all? And it's just like, I think the stability of sealed product is understated by quite a bit. Because I get in my comments all the time, Alex, just wait till the economy starts to go down. Just wait till X, Y, or Z. It's like, guys, Pokemon sealed product has had many. Steve just listed all the things that have happened over the last like 10, 20 years. The sealed boxes have done nothing but go either sideways or up. Sideways, up, sometimes a little down, 5-10%, right back up. You don't have these massive declines in modern sealed boxes. They just don't happen.
Can I blow people's minds?
What's
the key thing you just said? Wait till the economy goes down, right? Key thing you just said. Okay, cool. Check this out. Here's the GDP growth rate over the past decade. How many quarters have we had declines in GDP? 4 in the past decade.
And you can't even, honestly, you can't even really
Count
count.
COVID. I mean,
You can't count COVID. So really barely two.
exactly.
So if you didn't have a pandemic that we shut down production, it was 2. And look at those very small candlesticks. They're barely existent. They're basically flat.
I don't know.
But
What
again,
to say.
you know how it is.
The American economy does not make sense.
You know how it is, though. It's easy to sound smart and be a bear. You just call the dumb
The Bears
bulls.
don't sound smart.
Well, I know, but they think they do, right?
But
Because
they
it's very
don't.
easy to get on and try to like poke holes in like optimism. It's what we go through in Pokemon. It's like, everything's going so well, and people just want to like try and poke holes in this. And it's just like you show them the data, and then they just say, well, it's all gonna be different this time, or
I'm going to give you a reason why we're not going, why it's going to be difficult. Look at oil. Okay. Oil back in 2022 rose over 100 a barrel. Oil has been hanging out in the mid 60s for a little bit. And over the past year, let's look at that. It broke 80 for like a couple of days. And it got under 60 in May for a little bit. Now, if we look at U.S. production, it's off the charts. I mean, we've been printing over 13 million barrels a day for the past year. And we are now producing the most we've ever produced in oil production. It is absolutely crazy. And oil, most likely, my opinion, when I see the drilling reports, it is the one thing that moves the economy because everything is tied to oil. With oil at these levels, I think it's going to be really hard to see contraction in GDP. And if we don't get contraction, we continue to get expansion, then I don't know that the money's going to dry up in the collectible industry. I just don't. I don't think you're going to see a recession, especially if the Fed cuts rates in September. And that's a whole nother topic we can go down that's just going to add fuel to the fire.
I'm trying to find a way to like say this without being political, right? Like,
the Bears never sound smart. Let's just leave it at this. The Bears don't sound smart.
Yeah. Is it just people don't like Trump? Like, other than it being Donald Trump, if it was anyone else, like, why do you think people want to bet against their economy and their country?
I mean, I don't want to get political. I just think it's crazy.
No, it's like, why is negativity?
Regardless of who the president is, but I think Biden and Trump are almost equally disliked from each side because it's pretty much half and half right now. So,
and it's the same in Pokemon, by the way. That's why I said it's nothing about politics. It's like,
I just
why are people so drawn to negativity? Why is everyone waiting for like the collapse?
Because you should want the country and the economy, no matter who's leading the country, to do well, because that means that your neighbors and your friends are prospering. Like, you should want the American economy to be doing the best they can possibly do, so there's most job for your countrymen.
Yeah,
I mean, that's plain and simple. It shouldn't matter who's leading the country.
It just seems like it's the same way in this hobby. It's like everyone's always waiting for it to collapse, like things to fail, things to do bad, people to get. Rudy talks about it. Tons of people talk about it. It's just like, why is that the overall like theme of I guess it's just the online space, you think? Maybe.
Echo chambers. We've never had a period where everybody's had a voice. I mean, you look at X, no matter who you are, you can make an X account.
True.
Put your opinion out.
Hey,
they can magnify things. But I don't know. It's the sealed product market. I agree with you. I think it's going higher because you know what? When these things go out of print, they're not making any more. And people are going to want to chase them. And think about it. A lot of the people buying now got to be 30 and 40-year-olds because they're able to buy whatever they want to buy because they now are not in a position where they have to ask their parents for money. And I think that art is different today than it was back then, because back then people cared about paintings and that type of stuff. I think sports card TCG cards are modern day art, and oil paintings and that type of stuff is going to go vanish.
Yeah, another funny thing that always gets perpetrated as this is a child's card game, right? The demographic for this stuff is basically 20 and 30
The
year
number
olds.
one IP in the world.
And a lot of it's 20, 30-year-olds who grew up with it when it was released and are now old enough to have their own money to actually buy the things they couldn't or get as a kid, their parents couldn't afford, whatever. We're also the demographic. I understand, like, it might say 4 children or 5 to 7 years old, but if you guys think that only people should be that are buying this as kids, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, that's not happening. I mean, just look at the sports card. If you look at any of these videos about these big sports card conventions, it's a lot of adults. I
It's
can tell
mostly
you right
it's
now,
mostly adults. Like, it's mostly 18 and up.
the East Coast National, we went over the winter. It's 500 tables. I would say at least 70%, 80% were adults. At least.
Yeah.
Think about this. I'm going there with 6 people. We're all adults.
Yeah, it's like I said, I always, you kind of have that, like, those moments where you got to look yourself in the mirror and you got to be like, am I wrong here? And I just like, I always just fall back on the data, and I can't see anything that shows me any possible weakness coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. I think there's a huge demand. Supply at the moment is the problem. And even if they increase supply, I don't think it's going to really make a dent. And I think we see sealed product go up over time. I think it's a really interesting time to be in. And I think there's a lot of inefficiencies that could be exploited if you're willing to lock up capital and put in the work. I still
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah. And also, I mean, here's what a lot we talk about too. Is like, can you imagine if it does become available? Like, if the price does come down, if you can actually get distributors to distribute product to you. I mean, how much cash is sitting on the sidelines waiting to start putting away product? I would love to start putting away the amount of cases that I was in early Scarlet Violet. I don't have as many Destin Rivals cases as I do Paldea Evolved. I don't have as much, of any of these new sets because they're coming out of the gate too hot, too expensive, and you just can't get enough of them unless you want to pay full market price.
I want to ask you something, but I don't know if it's appropriate or not. So,
Yes, dude, anything's appropriate on this channel.
well, it's more a personal thing with
Go
your
for it.
collection.
Go for it.
You sure? Because this is going to
I
be a
don't
big
got secrets.
All right, so this is going to be a big telling thing for your business. Have you dipped into your personal stash when you had, if you've been in a situation where you're seeing that there's a lot of demand for a product that you may not have bought enough of for the stream?
Not since my very early when I started. Now we have enough
But at one
inventory.
point you were.
At the very beginning, yeah.
Right there shows you everything you need to know. That
Yeah.
the
What
demand
do you
is
mean?
so high that
Mm,
even somebody that's buying a lot of product that also has a large position in sealed had to dip into the sealed.
yeah.
That's how big the demand is.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily, like, we've got to the point now where I don't ever have to. But yeah, when I was starting out, it was like, do you have packs tonight or do you want to just not stream?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I just, if prices come down, let's say they come down to 150, does everybody run in or does everybody get scared and fantasize about the glory days of getting back to 105? If they come down to 150, I'm gonna, and if they're available, I'm buying a lot.
Yeah. And again, I think, I know, like, the meme online is like, oh, everyone says that when it happens, they won't. I think those are the days of the past. I think there's enough well-capitalized individuals now where, no, we're going to be buying, like, there's going to be people buying this time.
I think people are
It's too proven.
naive about the amount of money that is in the hobby. And to really understand it, you have to go to big shows or
Yes.
watch YouTube. You don't even have to go to big shows. You have to watch YouTube about conventions and watch people doing deals. There are certain Pokemon dealers that I watch and certain sports cards dealers I watch to try to get a beat on what's going on. And the amount of money on both sides that are coming in, like this stuff is not fake. It is just, there's a lot of liquidity in the market. More people than you think walking around with $5,000 or more in their pocket, or 20 or 30 grand in their little satchel that you wouldn't even think. And they're just doing it like it's normal. If you go to a show, there are so many big deals going on and people buying so many mid-level cards that end up being a couple of grand that the liquidity is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what about like the financial markets? Is there still like a lot of money in the sidelines, you think?
Tremendous. Still over $7 trillion in money market accounts per the St. Louis Fed.
Yeah, I mean, there's always talk of like, no one has any money. This is all on credit cards, all that. But every show you go to, people are flush with cash, it seems like.
I mean, look, I don't know where they're getting the cash from, but at the same time, there's a tremendous amount of cash in shows.
I feel broke every time I go to a Collecticon. I mean, I've seen six figures in $100 bill, racks taken out in front of me, like it's nothing, just like it's another day at the beach. It's just, and people throw these dollar amounts around, like, and this idea that like, oh, all the big deals are done in trade now, no money changes hands. Oh, it does.
Oh, it does.
I promise you, it does.
Oh, it does. There's this dealer who I'll name. I don't know the person. I've just watched a bunch of his videos. Mamba Breaks, I believe his name is. I should figure that out. Hold on. Give me one sec.
Yeah, we'll take 3 Digless, dude. Thanks for the $10 super chat, brother. Yo, dudes, I have a question. Why do some PSA cards go up and some don't? What are the main reasons? I bought Skyridge Gold and PSA 10, and I'm already up like 500, but why? Thanks. All right, Diglets, I'll answer this a few ways. So one, it's because, just the market's hot. The set gets hot, card gets hot, obviously, main reason. Two, could be that the card is extremely low population, like we just talked about. Maybe it has a very small amount of, grades in that grade, or maybe it's a small amount graded in general in any type of gem mint, near mint grades. And so it's very scarce. And in times like this, when the market's hot, there's too many buyers competing for too few supply. And so the price can run up very, very quickly. And, other times it's just because like right now, the Mega Evolution set coming out. So it's bringing interest back to the original Mega Evolutions in XY. And so it's like a catalyst that brings the attention back to an era. And, right now the hobby's bigger than ever. Back in XY, it was smaller. So again, there wasn't enough cards printed back then to go around. Like we just talked about, there's Charizards and Umbreons now in 15, 20,000. All the XY cards are at like hundreds, if not like 1,000 pop report. And so all those reasons, it all comes back to one reason: too much demand, not enough supply. That's pretty much it.
So the guy's name is Mamba Cards, and he's making videos. I spent $140,000 on 3 sports cards. I mean, I'm telling you that he just brings cash with him, and he brings really high value cards with him. He does huge trades, huge buys, and he's not the only one. I mean, there is so much money there. It's wild what's going on.
And the way that like that these guys have money too is the way they treat it. Like it's not a big deal. Like, me, right? I'm walking around a convention with $100,000, dude. I'm going to have that freaking thing chest strapped to me. I'm going to have my boys walking with me. I'm not going to that thing alone. Like, I'm not going to say maybe carry it. It's like, I'm not walking around with that kind of money, dude. These guys, I was at a convention where I was sitting there and with the group talking behind the tables at a Collecticon, and the dude's like, hey, I got to go do something. Watch my table. And he's got $100,000 in his case. And just, hey, watch this for me. Yeah, no problem. Like that kind of stuff. It's just like, for someone to leave you with that kind of, they obviously just play with large amounts of money all the time to where they're so, kind of, I don't know, oblivious to like what the amounts they're actually holding.
And I think that's why large money is coming in, because you see all these auctions in sports for these big sums of money And then you see all this stuff on YouTube, and this stuff is not, and obviously some things are tailored or created specifically for content, but a lot of this stuff, these people have very good reputations. And this guy, Mamba, just traded into a card for Cards and Cash, $270,000 for a gold LeBron James rookie card that there's only like 11 of or 12 of. It's huge money. And I have to believe that hedge funds, private equity are coming into the market because they can backdoor their way into the data through PSA. If PSA is on track to do 13 million grades a year, and they're charging an average of $50 a grade, think about the math on that.
Yeah,
man. And that's assuming that everything's at $50. It's probably more when you think about the upcharges for the big cards and stuff. But 13 million cards times $50 a card, what is that? 650,000 or so? I'm sorry, 650 million or so in revenue for PSA just on baseline. And then we got bringing all the other grading companies. That's just what's getting spent on grading a year. And if that's being spent on grading, what's getting spent on buying the cards? Like the liquidity is huge. Michael Rubin would not have bought Topps or acquired Topps through Fnatic if there wasn't money to be made. And what he is doing with Fanatics Fest is blowing up the hobby.
Well, GameStop wouldn't be investing what they are.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of, here's, I think what's going on, right? You have to think of like the average collector, right? Probably doesn't, average person, doesn't really know anyone with a lot of money, hasn't been exposed to it. What they know of the hobby is the local card store, playing at the local card store, what they can afford. Whereas I think like the perspective you bring is like, you're talking with all these Wall Street types every day. Like you know the amount of money people like hold. You know the amount of cash that is like circulating out there and how much can be spent at any given time. Whereas I think a lot of people, they compare like their circumstance or kind of their group, their family circumstance, like to, and think it's like the rule for the world. And then anyone that is spending more than that, they must be going into debt. They must be, it's come up with some reason or some excuse, right? Whereas I think for the first time, there's legitimate money moving in the hobby, and it's not people who just like grew up with Pokemon, love Pokemon, and got lucky because we went through a boom in the pandemic and they collected their whole lives and now they became rich and made a channel and said, hey, I'm a pokey, investor millionaire. So listen to me because I collected Pokemon cards my whole life and I became a millionaire overnight. I think you're having people who just really understand the business, really understand markets, and are, wanting to now make this a part of their portfolio as well as other investments they have. And I think that's the biggest change we're going through in 2025.
I mean, think about this for liquidity. I'm not going to out anybody, but you per se, when you put out those things on Instagram, buying packs, right?
Yeah.
You get flooded with DMs, correct?
It depends, man. It's always like this, but yeah, sometimes yes.
But there's a lot of you get traction.
Yeah.
So I know people that put out messages that they are buying cards to contact them. Okay. I know certain circumstances where person A is meeting up with person B once a month and buying 5 figures worth of cards. I know from shows I go to and talking with different dealers and stuff like that, that they give me their number and say, let me know what you're looking for. I'll get it for you. Like there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of liquidity. And I don't think people, unless you're going to shows and making those connections, I think people are just, like you said, staying within their sphere of people they talk to. And look, out of my initial friends group, not many people are into this, like 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, I gotta
nuts when I talk.
I gotta call this out. I gotta call this out real quick. Dat 101. Hey man, sorry, this is completely ridiculous. All those cards will sell here. I'm gonna share the screen right now. Like I can't let ridiculous stuff like this stand because it's just dumb, dude. Like they're not having trouble selling a PSA 10 Greninja. You can go to eBay. Those things sell every day, multiple every single day. Look, all around the same price, 750, 740, 750, 755. I mean, endless auctions. Just he can throw a Greninja at auction whenever he wants. He can throw a
one of
Latias.
those had 18 bids at 730.
Yeah, I mean, it's like any of these cars you send at auction, they sell every single time right around market price, infinitely liquid. If your buddy's having trouble selling, he's probably trying to do some weird stuff on like Reddit or Facebook or something stupid. Dude, when you go to a legitimate auction site, go here, go to Fanatics, they'll sell like that. There's no issues right now. Everyone I know running consignment services are getting record sales right now. There is no liquidity issue. Anyone having a liquidity issue just does not know what they're doing.
I think there's a lot of people trying to turn this into side businesses. I really do.
Yeah.
It's just, why else would people be doing everything that I'm seeing at shows?
Yeah, I mean, dude, vendor content is the top content in Pokemon right now.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
And it's like, dude, you can watch those videos. Things flow. They flow like water. The vendors will buy them, and there'll be a guy in line buy it from them before they even get in the case. I mean, this stuff is as liquid as water right now.
How about this? I have a theory that some content creators don't care about necessarily making money. They're trying to make the money off of YouTube and Instagram. And as long as they break even, they don't care.
Sorry, now I feel bad. Sorry, brother. Dude, here's the thing, man. I get trolled like night and day by people. So I just immediately go into like, kind of like prove the facts mode. So, hey, didn't know you were new to the hobby. Sorry, man. Yeah, dude. So eBay, things like that, that's where you can get liquidity basically immediately. If you are trying to sell on like a third-party platform, something like a Facebook or something like that, it can take longer, it can be a little less liquid, but yeah, you'll always be able to sell stuff on eBay. So sorry, man, I didn't know you were newer. My bad. All right.
Is there anything against playing YouTube videos on this or not?
I know like
let's not do it. I don't want to do it.
I don't know, dude. Like YouTube just made some weird changes to where they changed the way you like have to do reaction content, where you have to like cut it a certain amount of times and add something to it. I don't know anymore.
All right, so let's not do it, but I'm going to send you something for you to watch privately. And we got to figure out a way to react to some of this stuff, because it's just, these deals are insane.
Well, how long is the clip?
No, it's a 17-minute video. So
okay.
Part of the video, it's just insane. But yeah, I really think that people should really start going down the YouTube rabbit hole of these conventions and looking at some vendor POV stuff, because it's just wild what goes on at these things.
Yeah.
It's really wild.
I mean, you could always post a video in the chat and they can watch it or whatever, but
well, let's address this. So many failed card shops. So Alex and I were talking about this recently, about how much you have to make to actually have a shop succeed. So depending on where you are, you're going to have rent. And let's just do easy math. Let me get a spreadsheet up. So
are we going to use like Midwest rent or New York rent?
Well, let's just say you have to pay $30 a square foot, okay, for a retail space. How many square feet do you think you need for a shop? 1,500? For a good shop, 2,000. So you have a play area.
You probably start out. Let's say 1,500, because you're going to start out small.
Right, and 1,500 is not a small area either.
No,
that's a good size area.
Think about it, you got to fill that up now. You got to fill that up with inventory now.
Yeah. So here you go. So your annual is $45,000 a year for your rent, which is $3,750 per month that you need to pay every month. That doesn't include insurance, utilities, AC, cable, internet, any of your operating costs. And then you got to think about, all right, after all that, am I able to do this alone, or do I need to hire somebody? Like all your insurance, everything, alarms, video cameras. There is so much that goes into it. So now shops need to adapt. So that's why you're seeing shops do the live breaks. They do streams. They do podcasts. They sell online. They are doing 4 or 5 different things to make money. I really think all the new shops are going to be a mix of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, PSA submissions are big. The shop that we buy from, he's got 3 people working for him part-time. They do breaks, they do live streams, they do whatnot, and they do PSA and BGS grading. And that is becoming a huge business for them because they're getting a better rate from PSA because of how much volume they send in, and it's less hassle. So people will drop off 20, 30, 40 cards, and they have a whole ecosystem of people that go in and rip on the spot, give the cards directly to the shop owner to send out to PSA. They don't even bring them home. And then the shop has a huge eBay store. And then usually what they'll do is they'll have the owner put them up on the eBay store and just sell them for them. So
Well,
shops are doing a lot of different things to make money.
yeah, I mean, I know some people that are basically like trying to open shops and use them as basically just like hubs to take in singles. And when you have a shop, people, I mean, I know people think it's not a lot, but dude, it happens. I know multiple card shop owners. Okay. They all say the same thing day in and day out. They are able to take in singles, ungraded singles at 50%. Like it or not, people do it. They get loads of them every single day. And so they're taking in these cards at 50%. They're just running them on their freaking streams. You got Whatnot, Fanatics, eBay Live, Drip, and you run them on your streams. And so you're taking them 50%. Even if they go for, someone, think about this. Think about this, dude. Somebody someone got a deal. They bought that card for 80% of market value. They're happy. They got a deal. The streamer just made 30%. They're happy. It's an infinite business model.
And some people are probably thinking who would sell at 50%. But if you have cards that you got in packs 10 years ago and you need cash quick and you're able to sell them, but let's just say you bought a card for $10 and now it's worth 200 and you sell it at 50%, you're still making $90.
Well, and the higher dollar cards, they will give more usually. But like, yeah, I mean, anything like under $50, like 50%. And here's the funny part. Ready for this one, guys? At my card shop's a bigger one. You got to take a number. You know why you got to take a number? Because there's that many people in front of you waiting to trade in their cards. And they have 3 full-time people at the desk pricing out your collections because that's how much business they're getting from 50% trade-ins.
It's absolutely wild. And you look at a place like Burbank, they've created a whole economy where they will buy any card you have because they want to make it where if you buy a box from them, you open up everything, you can sell whatever you want back to them for a floor price. That way they keep everything going because they want to create an outlet where you can get liquidity for your cards. That's part of their secret. A lot of liquidity out there.
Yeah, I mean, I just I think TCGs are becoming I just don't know how they go away. Like, I've talked about it before too, how like you almost get in a routine, and then social media, because the way it's made, it kind of keeps you in that world because of the algorithm, to where every day you wake up, you roll over out of bed, you get your phone. Guess what? It's going to be curated right to what you want to watch. You're going to see Pokemon, right? You're going to go later. You're going to have, I don't know, your collector app there. You're going to see what your collection's worth that day. You're going to hear your favorite creator talking about a card. Oh, I like that card. I need to get that. It's just everything is built to make you a consumer. And if you think that people are more likely going to change and break habits and no longer buy something over do what they do every single day and likely going to stay in that routine forever, I'm going to bet on they're going to stay in that routine and change. If you don't believe me, go look at how many New Year's resolutioners end up keeping their resolutions.
There's never been a time like this, given the amount of social media out there, the amount of eyeballs on content. It's keeping the hobby front and center. And that's never happened before. I don't think this is a train that slows down. I think it just gets bigger. I really do.
What's your plans?
I'm buying what I can. I can't get my hands on what I would like to get my hands on. And I'm taking what I can get because I'm paying under market rate when everything comes out. But I'm at the whim of how much product the shop is getting. I'm not actively going on eBay and looking. If stuff starts to come down, I'll increase my allocation to it. But right now, I'm just buying a couple boxes of everything that comes out now.
Probably the best way to do it right now.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you have any questions you guys wanted us to take, feel free to leave them in the chat.
This guy, Adam Bomb, what type of food do you like? I'll give you some spots.
Here we go. Throw it out.
I can't freaking make a recommendation without knowing the type of food. And sushi is the one thing I don't eat, so I will not know a good sushi place.
Okay, so Italian, Indian, sushi.
All right. Italian, go to Scarpetta. You're not going to be able to get into Carbone, but you can try. Scarpetta is amazing.
I can't do it.
If you want good pizza, John's on Bleecker. Best pizza in the city.
John's on Bleecker.
John's on Bleecker.
Now, has that been on a Portnoy review?
9.4.
9. Okay, so that's the real deal, apparently.
Yeah. So
I trust Dave, man. When I was up there,
I
tried a few spots. I tried a few spots in New York. We went to New Haven. I trust him, man. I think we have similar tastes.
Went to New Haven. I've been to the top 3. I've been to Sally's, been to Modern, and I've been to Pepe's. We used to stop off at Pepe's on the way up to Mohegan Sun.
We got Pepe's. Sally's was too crowded.
Yeah, New Haven is wild. How freaking crazy those places are.
Insanity.
It's crazy. Pizza's amazing, but John's on Bleecker. Freaking great pizza. And there's a place, Patsy's, which Portnoy gave like an 8.7 or 8.8.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible pizza.
I love it. Camrans, dude, I've seen you ask this a million times. I'm sorry for ignoring it. Dude, I have no take. I know zero about Ripbound. Yeah, we aren't going to be able to, the ones to ask about this, man. Neither one of us are going to be able to give you anything, brother. Sorry, man. I wasn't ignoring you on purpose. I have no value to give on that.
I don't even know where it is.
Yeah. See?
I've never even heard of it. I've heard of a lot of stuff. I've never even heard of that.
Rudy said that this could run for another 5 to 10 years. Are you still a Rudy Patreon?
No, I'm banned.
Oh, because you left too at one point.
I shouldn't have left. Even though I never bought anything from him, I was doing it just to support him, knowing that I probably wasn't going to buy anything, because at the time he really wasn't doing Pokemon, and I didn't have any interest in Magic. So I just signed up just to support him because I felt like, you know what, I watch his content, it's free content. You know, I'll sign up and become a Patreon. I never used it. So one day I'm like, I'll just get rid of it, not realizing you get banned if you get rid of it. So
yeah, I actually left. I left before he even started that. So like, I was a Patreon near the beginning. Because I watched his channel since like near the beginning, like when he was still posting videos like with a whole bunch of freaking firearms and stuff, and then he ended up taking some of those down. Like, and so I was a Patreon really early on, and then I ended up leaving because the prices weren't as good as I could just buy on eBay, People Bought Pete or whatever, Hills Wholesale Gaming. And then I guess later he made that thing, and I could never get back in. I'm blacked out too.
All I gotta say is he's the most ridiculous story that I've ever seen in the card industry. It is wild. There needs to be some independent film company needs to do a documentary on that guy.
One day, I'm sure.
It's the craziest story when you really look at everything.
Yeah. All investors would be humbly quiet if all their unrealized gains were taxed. The country would collapse. I think the country would literally collapse if that happened.
It's not look, it's not possible to do that. And the idea that was even being floated was ridiculous. Like, you can't tax somebody on an unrealized gain because they don't have the money because it's unrealized. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the country would literally collapse because like if you were going to get taxed either way, then you know how many people would just like divest from so many of their investments and just take the cash. Like it would literally, like, you would have 401k like positions wiped out. It'd be a mess, man. You
how
would
about
have
this?
hedge funds collapse.
You would have so many businesses go under because
Oh
think about
yeah.
this. If you have a business that's doing $50 million in revenue, you got 100 employees or whatever you have, et cetera, and then this ends up happening where unrealized gains are taxed. Okay, well, how do you figure what the business is worth? Because revenue is not profit. So are we doing a 5x multiple on revenue? Or are we going to do a 5x multiple on profit? So let's just say we're going to do a 5x multiple on revenue, and you're running a $50 million revenue business. All right, so now they're saying that the value is $250 million. So let's just say your unrealized gain on that is $240 million. Okay, so now that's the spread. Let's say the tax is 20%. Where are you coming up with $45 million? Like, people will have to sell their businesses to private equity or sell a stake of it to private equity because it's just, it will make everything collapse. You can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Question about AI, how it impacts the market, both in the form of social media and operations and business. I see a lot of discussion saying AI integration will be a necessity for future success. I don't know enough about AI to give a serious opinion. I mean, Steve, have you been researching that at all for investing purposes or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty deep down the rabbit hole on AI, and I'm not sure how it's going to be applicable to the sports card hobby because so much of it is in person. You're not talking about how is AI going to make a software platform more efficient. You're not talking about how is AI going to streamline a manufacturing process or anything like that. AI can't do anything for person to person sales. So if you go to a show, how does AI help you there? It really doesn't. Um, can it help somebody who is trying to find deals on eBay or something like that? Maybe there can be an AI integration or an AI program that can help you, but you can already get a subscription to Grok or ChatGPT and ask it whatever you want to ask it and get insights from it and use it. I just don't know how it's going to be applied in the hobby because, once again, AI can't make you get luckier buying a box of cards because whatever you rip from it, you rip from it. I mean, maybe you can put your cards, take a picture and say, where should I sell this and get the best ROI and cut some time down, but I don't think it's going to be big for the hobby.
AI could definitely play with the market though. You know how trading algorithms on Wall Street? Imagine if you had an algorithm for TCG player buyouts that would, kind of like it would locate cards that were ripe for it. It would figure out the market cap to make a certain price move, and it would completely figure out the sell-through rate of everything. I mean, it could actually come into play. You could actually maybe make some money with AI in the card game.
Oh, without a question. There are things they could definitely do. I just don't think it's going to be a big.
No, this guy.
I may have sent them the link.
Dude, what is up?
Make a cameo.
Dude,
guys, we have an actual celebrity in the house.
I don't know if I'm allowed to be in the presence of you because given what Steve's been telling me, you're going to buy a mansion and a yacht soon and forget about all of us because apparently ripping up cards on the internet is worth more than a meta AI researcher or something. I mean,
dude, I was asking Steve, I'm like, doesn't Mitch just have like a tattoo of Palantir across his back? Is he going to have that?
What price
is that going to be like on your jet just straight?
For you to get Palantir tattooed across your back?
Dude, so I actually haven't said this on my channel, but a guy reached out to me who watches the stream. He's a painter. I looked at his Instagram. It's amazing. He is painting me a custom Alex Karp face for my apartment that I'm moving into.
I love it.
And I'm going to hang it up. Probably first thing you see when you walk into the apartment. It's just going to be right there.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, we're going to
I heard you got a new apartment.
I did. So
exciting.
Should be fun. Dude, apparently the card market is legit, and you seem to be a big player in this market, in this industry.
No, I'm just a guppy, a minnow.
Do you see everyone who's successful is like, no, man, I'm just a little guy. I'm not like
I
they always
really
try to
am, though.
downplay it. But
Dude,
I think
I
you're
legitimately
becoming a
am.
big guy.
I don't have like millions of dollars or nothing.
No,
We need,
not even not
we
by
need to
money, but
introduce Amit to Rudy. We got him to go down the Rudy rabbit hole.
I just mean influence, and your brand in the industry seems to be growing pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can say the same about you, right? Like, dude, you see your streams with like 5,000 people and they're watching you. It's just like it's
I get
amazing.
it, but I'm not shipping product. You're shipping
True.
product. You're selling. You're moving product, physical goods. That's not easy
Yeah.
to do, bro.
Yeah, I mean, dude, things are hot right now. TCG market's hot. Like we were just talking about, like the amount of money that is being moved into the hobby with Fanatics. The partnerships PSA is making. GameStop. Bringing in different players on their board, and it's just there's a lot of big money and a lot of eyes on the TCG and like sports card hobbies right now. And I think that like a lot of people are starting to realize kind of like it's untapped potential, I think.
Right.
Well,
And,
Amit is coming to the East Coast Nationals, supposedly.
You're gonna be there, Alex?
Oh no, I'm not gonna make it up. I'll make it back up there one time. We were just in New York last year. I'll make it back up there though.
So Alex, what can Amit? Let's frame it like this: what can he expect to witness at the largest show outside of Fanatics Fest in the New York City area for sports cards?
Dude, you feel like everyone's like a rapper or a drug dealer. Like the amount of like cash they carry around. Like you almost get desensitized to seeing $10,000 bands being thrown around. Like that kind of stuff. Like, picking two cards up and being like, yeah, that card's $5, but this one's worth $100,000. And you're just like, I don't get it. It's definitely weird your first time. I will say that. It'll definitely throw you off.
Well, I'm excited for it. I mean, I think last time we talked on stream might have been like October 2024, about 8-9 months ago, and you were doing the rip and ship 6-7 hours a day. I think you're still doing that, and it's just when people enter into my stream, they're like, why do all these people care about candlesticks moving up and down? It's a totally different industry. When I am in your world, I'm like, why do people care about Alex taking a card and the way he rips it is like very special to them, the way he's commentating.
I don't know about that.
It's a different world, and you are becoming a commentator in that world that's responsible for moving a lot of product. And I mean, what's that been like? Because the past 9 months, it seems like business has really ramped up at a different level.
Oh, it's been amazing, man. It's like, I quit my job, I would say a little over a year ago now.
That's a big deal. To quit your job to do something you love, most people cannot do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to hire one of my best friends, and he works with me now. And so, it's like, it's honestly, I couldn't ask for more of like a, kind of like storybook, life to be living. I mean, my wife works from home, so she's right upstairs. Me and one of my best friends are down here in the basement working. Like we're all home, just like, making money, living life together. Like I couldn't ask for any better.
That dude, that's not to put your friends on and do your own thing in the basement. Like, and you love doing this too,
Oh, it's fantastic, dude. I mean, like when I'm sure you've had other jobs. It's like when you think about what else you could be doing to make a buck, and you're just like, you have that in the back of your mind. You're like, how can I make like a hobby or something I like to do a career? And then you finally do it. Yeah, there's no better feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, how long? I mean, what did you do before you were creating content?
I had a consulting firm. I was teaching public speaking. I had a startup I tried. That one didn't really work out. So I kind of went all in on content in 2024. And, since then it's just been.
Honestly, like, not to like, blow smoke at you, man, but like, you're probably at the point here soon, like where you could probably be looking to hire, somebody to help with all this stuff. I think you're going to be just dealing with a lot. I was telling Steve, I think we're reaching that time. You're already seeing like content creators, like streamers and things get contracts. Like you'd see like an NBA player get a quarterback it. And you're seeing, these networks contract, the Stephen Colbert thing. Like you're seeing them start to let go of their shows, their hosts. I think it could be a thing in the future, man, where they start to give contracts to content creators to stream on their platforms and have like shows. I mean, dude, if you keep going your route, you could get to a point where like you get offered a contract with a big network for like the Amit show. I mean, I'm not kidding, dude. Like
No, it's very possible.
these are the real things that are available in this new world. It's crazy to think about.
If Bezos buys CNBC, and Mitch getting
Dude, Amazon's going to the moon if he does that.
There's rumors they were talking about on halftime.
I know. I saw the rumors.
Bezos is going to try to buy CNBC.
Cost him about $4 billion to do it.
It's a drop in the bucket for him. He owns Washington Post. He owns CNBC. Crazy.
And CNBC would make way more money than Washington Post.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, thanks for the super chat, dude. He said, "You think the market is so strong, not even Rudy selling his entire position would even affect it?"
Yes. Rudy could drop his entire position and it would not matter at this point.
We'll put it this way, guys. Rudy recently did like a Patreon sale and he sold 1,500 boxes of Paldea Evolved in a matter of like 10 minutes. And no one even knows that sale happened because it was not on a public, market like eBay or another auction house. It went to all his Patreon members and he totally divested from an entire position in 10 minutes. And it got spread out to hundreds of different people that now it's all a bunch of small positions. That's kind of how this thing works. It's not like somebody dumps an eBay listing of 1,500 boxes.
Somebody needs to make a documentary about this guy. He is the true OG of the whole sealed product market, without a question.
So where are we right now in the cycle? If I were to ask you around trading cards, is there a lot more room up? Is there a big bubble?
Before Alex answers, I'm going to give you the answer. You ready? You ready, Mitt?
Okay.
It's 9 p.m. and the party goes on till 4 a.m.
Hold on. We got to bring up
Dan Ives.
Hold on. We got to bring up. I think for this conversation, we got to bring up this, right? Hold on. All right, for this conversation, we got to bring up this guy. So, the market cycle. Where are we? If I had to guess, I gotta think we're somewhere in the. What do you think? In the belief thrill range?
We may only be in the optimism range.
In the optimism range?
Maybe. I don't know. There's just too much liquidity coming in, and there's so much going on that I don't see what takes it down at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I say thrill is because, like, just what they put here, I will buy more on margin. Got to tell everyone to buy. I feel like that's the point we're getting to is people like talking like, I just have to get more. I have to get more involved in the market. How do I get more invested? But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think we're at the top yet just because it seems like every week I log on, we're seeing new tops. Like we're seeing new highs. Every time I like update my spreadsheets or something, it's like a higher high. It's kind of ridiculous, man. It's probably how you felt when you see Palantir every freaking day.
I think across every asset class, there is lots of liquidity and money that's coming in. Do you think there's a lot of new people in your industry?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think they know what they're doing?
Huh?
Do you think they know what they're doing, or they're just throwing money for the hell of it?
I think. All right, I'm gonna say this. I think there's a lot of people that are, just being entertained by it, throwing money for the hell of it, hear something online and want to just be involved in it, kind of like almost like the GameStop type craze, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the individuals that are taking the time to like get educated, I think some of these individuals are more capitalized than most anyone we've seen in the hobby before. Like, people who have net worths in the 8 figures, who can afford to, put 6 figures, even 7 figures into Pokemon positions. Like, I've come into contact with more of those people in the past year than I think they probably was, 5 years ago. So I think people are seeing these things as more of like a legitimate asset, kind of like they would view like, artwork or, watches or something than, 5 years ago when it was still just like it's children's cardboard type thing.
That's exactly how I look at it. This is the new art. I really, truly believe that. Not a single one of my friends cares about paintings. Not a single one. I think that whole craze is done. I think that this is new art. I really do.
Could be, man.
So, are you actively buying here, or are you more of a seller at these levels?
I'm not selling necessarily, other than like my streams where I buy inventory to sell, but I'm definitely not buying at market price. Where I am buying is when, unfortunately, I'm in a different position now to where I have people reach out to me wanting to just like divest their position and sell their collections. And so like, if I'm able to take advantage of that, buying at like 80-85% of market, I'll definitely buy those collections. I'll kind of pick and choose the products I want out of there, put those away, and then I'll sell off the rest and kind of recoup most of my money and kind of churn and burn that way. So like, yes and no. Am I going to the open market and paying full market price for a lot of things right now? No. And so it's definitely a harder time to get involved, I would say.
How are people reaching out? Like email?
Yeah, I mean, I'll make Instagram and Discord posts, and they'll get shared around, and people just reach out. Kind of the law of large numbers. You put post out to 10, 20, 30,000 people. Of course, you're gonna get 5 or 10 people reach out every time. Type thing.
I mean, well, that's also good because it means you have leverage on trying to get some of these deals done, right?
Yeah. I'm in a better position than I was when, like, obviously when I had no following. But back when I had no following, it's much easier because it was much more like lower dollar opportunities. Nowadays, it's so hot right now that I know Steve has problems finding stuff right now. I mean, everyone kind of does.
And how many times do you still stream every day?
Every day, but today and then Sunday. We do Monday through Thursday and Saturday night.
And how many hours per stream?
It depends. These days it's less. I would say it's slowed down a bit. I would say like 3 to 4 hours is like an average stream.
And do you tend to talk about things like when I'm doing my stock market stream, I'll maybe get into a story about something that happened to me yesterday. Do you do that stuff, or it's more purely Pokemon?
I mean, I kind of just take it where the chat goes, anything to keep it entertaining and just keep the conversation flowing.
Like Steve will talk about fucking pies.
Listen, I'm going to make a shirt, pie over cake.
He'll take it there, so.
And how many people in your chat knew about Brian Muir Farms?
Dude, someone commented underneath after the video. They were like,
that's right.
That's so funny. Man.
Legendary pies.
Yeah, Mitt, we were having a conversation earlier though about like, how everything seems to be at an all-time high. It's like, all the stocks have rallied, crypto's rallied, all this TCG sports card space has rallied. It's like people always, keep asking about like, well, Alex, the whole buy low, sell high thing, things are high, it's time to sell. And my whole thing is just like, yeah, but what do you do? Like, if you don't need the money, you're selling your investment, taking the profits, you have this cash now, where do you put it?
Yeah. That's the hardest thing to do after you sell is like, well, you can't just let the cash stay in a bank. Like you got to do something with it, right?
Well, it's much easier when the markets aren't all in tandem. Like when there's some markets that that are down, but like right now it seems like everything's at all-time high. So what do you do?
That's a good point. I mean, there are, at least in the stock market, there are undervalued opportunities, but still it's hard to allocate capital and shift it, especially if something's working. Like for me and Steve, Nvidia's working. So we don't have any intention to sell it and go find something that's not working because it's cheaper. It's like, no,
unless you want to get super risky and start betting against things and shorting stuff.
No.
Right. Yeah.
That's like playing the freaking don't pass at the craps table. You just don't do it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so that I never know how to answer that question. And then every time I answer it in that way, in this hobby, at least, I don't know if it's this way in the stock market. Well, it's not in the stock market because obviously, you're not like doing anything, but in the Pokemon world, a lot of people have this belief that like, oh, well, you have a few subscribers, so you can manipulate the market. You're just saying not to sell to keep your positions high. And it's like, dude, I literally do not know what I would do with the money if I sold. That's why I don't sell.
It's very similar. People think like I as a personal brand can move a stock up. It's like, dude, unless it's a penny stock that has like a couple million shares outstanding, anything I say has zero impact on any major company that's out there. It's just not enough volume,
Right.
So it's really a question of, do you want to keep riding it higher or do you want to take some profits off the table? And that's a personal choice everyone has to make.
Yeah. And then like Lee said, yeah, this is a one that's always talked about is how much Pokemon pump is due to profit taking from stocks and crypto. I know there's a lot of correlation between crypto. I know there's a lot of purchases done in crypto because people don't want to turn it into cash because then they have to pay their taxes. So they'll buy in crypto and then they can turn it into Pokemon product, at which point, maybe they can move that in some unscrupulous way. I'm not going to get into that world, but that's definitely something that happens.
Yeah. I think in the stock market, there's a lot of people that are taking profits from big reputable companies and betting on very, very small companies to assume, it's like almost like a YOLO gamble. And I would imagine they diversify into something like a Pokemon. Now, how much of that is the rise in Pokemon. I don't know how much, but it's definitely happening for sure.
Yeah. Have either of you guys been selling anything lately?
No, well, Steve and I we do an option strategy called selling covered calls. So we tend to make a little bit of income by risking a little bit of our portfolio for some lack of upside. But in terms of actually selling, I don't know about Steve, but I haven't been selling anything. Neither has he.
The only thing I exited was Block.
Yeah.
And that was just because it was going the wrong way on me. It appreciated a bunch, and it was a loss I felt good about just taking because there was other things to do with the money, and I put it into NVIDIA.
Yeah.
So no worries about any market collapse or anything like that coming.
We kind of had it already in April, so it's like, does it really have to happen?
Corporate earnings are expanding right now. Next week's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We already saw what Alphabet did. It was a great quarter.
Yeah.
And when that happens, Meta usually has a great quarter.
Yep.
Amazon should crush.
Yep.
Microsoft should crush. Apple, who knows? It's freaking Apple. It's hope they buy Perplexity or something. But the financial sector was very strong. And if the Fed actually cuts rates in September, I do think we're going much higher.
I agree. I think we are as well.
So I guess mid without selling, like you're basically full income is your content. You're not like taking profits from the stock market.
Yeah. So the covered call thing I was talking about, that does create some income. It's
That's
like an income
okay.
strategy, but a lot of it is content. The majority of it is content. No.
So the positions are just gonna be long-term holds.
Pretty much. I mean, I have very few little swing trades. The majority of them are just like, let's hold them, for the next 10 years.
And I feel like it's just like, it's true in any industry. I feel like that's what, majority of successful people do is they use
borrow
their
against their assets versus sell their assets.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they use their income to continue to acquire. They don't sell off their assets to pay for things or create more income. And like you said, when they do get enough, built up, then they use that to borrow from.
Yeah.
And obviously in Pokemon you can't use to borrow from, but I just think
who knows?
Who knows? I just think this idea of constantly
tokenized with Ethereum.
Maybe they get tokenized. The banks say, you know what, this Pikachu card is worth enough to give you a loan against. Who knows?
I think it's got to be. I've said this a million times in this industry. I think this industry is just still maturing because you have a lot of people that anytime something goes up, that's their first thought is, should I take profits? When do I sell? It's like, that shouldn't be what you're thinking about is when do I sell? It's, do you need to sell? Like, do you not still like, it should be a long-term game. It shouldn't be this, like, I made a quick, little 50, 100% gain or whatever. I need to get my money immediately. And then say, now what?
The big difference with Pokemon versus stocks, there's product being ripped every second of every day. And at some point, you can think of it as like a share buyback program. But the difference is when sealed product gets ripped, there's so much less of it, and people are still going after it to hit the chase cards. So I think you're going to see these things keep going up.
All right, I got a dip. I got a podcast to do. Alex,
another one?
Yeah, I know it's Friday.
Dude, how many times do you stream? How many times do you stream a day?
2 times. This week it's been 3 times because we've been doing some special episodes, but usually 2 times every day.
I love it, man. Hey, dude, thanks for stopping by. We need to have you on again, like for a full stream sometime.
Yeah, man. We'll plan a full one with us 3, but dude, I just want to say congrats. It's not easy to quit your job and do content full time. I know it's a grind. It's difficult, but you're fucking crushing. And I'm just happy to see any person chase their dreams via content because it's out there. Anyone can do it. It's just dedication, consistency, and you're fucking doing it. So
I feel the exact same way, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys. See you later.
That was a treat, Steve.
Dude, he's a good role model.
Didn't know that was coming.
I didn't tell you that was coming. That's why.
I like it. Dude, honestly, dude, amidst he says all that nice stuff about me, dude. He's the real inspiration here.
Nah, both of you guys are. But
it's just wild to see that level of success. Because here's the thing, dude. He's playing with the sharks. Like the stock market, like that is where the most intelligent individuals, all the people who have all the money to dedicate to expanding their personal brands, and that's where everyone's at. To come up, to rise up in that world, that takes a lot, man. Like this collectible world, I said it before. This collectible world is honestly, it's easy. And
the amount of work that he put into it, over the past year and a half is insane. Like if you go back and you listen to what he was discussing versus what he's discussing now, what you don't see behind the scenes and what he does and what he's had to do to get to where he is absolutely incredible for somebody who did not go to business school.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, he has put so much work. Him and I have had so many conversations about all these different economic factors and everything. What he has learned and what he has done, not many people would be willing to put in that much work. I can tell you that right now.
If you have Steve, I am in the stream every time. He is the real deal, milkman. What's that about?
So I go to the farmer's market every Sunday and I get fresh whole milk in a glass jar and fresh yogurt and all that stuff. Like there's nothing better than farm fresh whole milk.
I like it, man.
Nothing better.
What else is up, man?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just hoping that I can get more product. I want more product, but things aren't cooperating. I don't think they're going to cooperate. So,
well,
we'll see.
I'm probably part of the problem because I'm ripping it all.
I don't know. You know what? The problem is Pokemon Center. They're not producing enough. That's what it is, because regardless of if they increase it by 20 or 40%, everybody that's coming to your streams are still going to come to your streams.
Yeah.
That's not going to matter. It's just, I get more angry at the scalpers at this point than Pokemon Center, because to me, it's not okay for somebody to go into a Target when there's a line of people and you have kids waiting there with their parents to get a couple of blister packs or an ETB, and a scalper goes in and legitimately fills up their entire shopping cart. To me, that's not okay.
No, they're assholes.
It's like, it's horrible. So I blame the Pokemon Center at that point for not putting out enough product and keeping it at a level where it is so profitable to do that. It's not okay.
What, in your opinion, what's the fix? Just printing more?
I think that's where you start, and then you guys see what happens from it. Because if there is a ton of product, then scalpers aren't going to be able to make the money scalping. You're not going to see fights at Costco.
Yep.
Because if people can get their hands on the product, there's no reason to buy from a scalper.
Yeah.
Like, that's the big difference. You're not scalping. Like, these people are.
No, I'm probably the one buying from the scalpers.
You probably are buying from the scalpers. Like,
let's be honest.
It's just wild. Like, taking it away from kids is not okay. And then also, you got to make sure the stores have enough. I mean, if you want to open up a store, or if you have a store, but you can only get 2 cases, it's freaking 12 boxes. How are you supposed to make your money? Like, you got to be able to make sure that the stores have product, and it can't just be the legacy stores that are able to spend $1 million a month. You have to make it where the stores that have 50 grand to spend or 100 grand to spend can get what they need to get to stay in business and create a healthy economy around it.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just like you can put in $100,000 order with a distributor and you're gonna get $500 if you're new.
It's crazy.
And I get it, but at the same time, it's just like, how do you ever build? How does a new store build up any allocation or any spend?
I don't know, and that's something that you need stores, you need ecosystems, and you need to make sure that they succeed. And you need to make sure that new people that want to become entrepreneurs have an avenue to make it succeed.
Unless the idea is just make it all big box and GameStop is going to be your local game store.
Doesn't seem like they want to do that, even though that's their best move.
Yeah, we had a stream. I think the last time you were on, that was like the whole theme was we were talking about that, and they haven't went that direction at all.
They should buy PSA.
Can they do that?
No, I mean, they got like $4 billion on the balance sheet.
I mean, I don't know what Collector's Universe is worth.
I mean, I have no idea, but GameStop has 6.4 billion in cash.
Collector's Universe market cap right now is in the range of 830 to 854 million.
Can't be. It's a private company. I don't know how.
That was prior to the acquisition.
Yeah, of SGC, and before whatever this last boom is. So I don't know how to value them.
Oh,
but
no, my bad. More recently, after the acquisition, taking the company private, it's estimated to have soared to 4.3 billion.
Yeah, I mean, look, GameStop could issue shares and do a combination of shares and cash, but they should buy PSA and have in-store grading for PSA and turn the GameStop employees into graders and do in-store grading, in-store capsulation, and make it where each store is their own hub instead of having to send out distribution centers.
What's funny is when you say that, your immediate, like, it's immediate knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, that's a terrible idea. But then you think about what the graders actually are there. Probably not much different than a GameStop employee anyway.
Well, how about this? If you're going the age of AI and computers, what if you could drop your card off and get back in 4 hours? Think about it. What if you could drop your card off and get back the next day or same day? Kind of like an Amazon Prime, where you drop it off on your way to work, or you drop it off on your way home from work and you pick it up the next day on your way home from work. Or if you go to the mall, you drop off your card and then you can get it on your way out.
Or, the tag machines become a thing and tag takes off, or PSA buys tag and has those machines where it does it for you type of thing. Look, technology is definitely going to play a role.
PSA should buy tag and then GameStop should buy PSA because those grading machines is the future of grading. Being able to circumvent the whole system,
yes,
and churning out more and quicker is the way of the future.
So I talked to Jesse. I forget his last name. He's basically, I guess, involved with tag. He has a podcast too with PokeSun. And he was explaining it to me where it's just like, yeah, it's great that it's got the AI feature and you can submit your card and it's supposed to grade it the same every time. That's all fine and great, but that's not even the company. The company basically is a technology company getting rid of a service-based company. And so, like, all the grading companies are now service-based. The whole point of tag is not about like, oh, it makes the consumers happy because it makes their cards grade the same every time. It's really to replace the service-based business and make it a technology-based business where you get these boxes into the hands of every card shop, every card show, and you can go in, put your card in, it grades it, encapsulates it, it spits it out to you, and cuts out any of the employees or any of the wait time. And in that perspective, I think the company's a slam dunk. It's just, do you get enough people to get behind the tag name is the only thing I'm like sketchy on.
Well, they have, I'm looking on their website, they have 4 granted utility patents and they have 134 pending claims. I mean, this is a technology company at this point. And I got to tell you, I like their population reports. I can't believe they've only had 450,000 cards graded so far. I mean, being able to get a freaking pop report the way that, I mean, I know you've gone through it. Isn't that crazy? Like how detailed it is?
Yeah. I mean, here's not the detail, but the numbers. Think about this with the amount of popularity Rudy has. Even he doesn't do big numbers on his grading company.
I'm sorry, I mixed it up. When you put in the serial number of one of your cards, the detailed report about the grade, it's incredible. The detail that comes out versus, oh, it's a PSA 10. I mean, now I'm seeing that people are trying to lowball people because you have an older PSA label. Yeah. And they're saying it was easier to get PSA 10 then, so they're only willing to pay 60%.
And by the way, that's been a thing forever, guys. So I got back in the hobby when they were still in like the 2s and 3s. And I remember when the 4 certs came out, everyone was about the 4 certs and they changed the case and everything and made that label. And it was all like, or not change the case, they changed the label. And it was all about the 4 certs. The 4 certs are the real deal. And then that became a thing again, I think around like the 7 or 8 certs. And then again, at the 10, it's been a thing forever. People are really weird about having the newest cert and think it's always the hardest grade ever. And it is what it is. It's part of it.
So I want to share this real quick because this is what I was talking about earlier with tag. So theoretically, and now I bought up some tag 10s because of this theory of certain cards. I'm not going to say which ones. They are one of the best players in baseball right now, rookie cards. So you have a full report when you put it in, and you get every detail about every little thing.
It's amazing.
So if you're buying a tag 10 and you're looking at the data beforehand because you have the serial number from eBay before you buy it, and if it is a great report, you should theoretically be able to crack it and send it in a PSA and get a 10 and double your money because tag trades at such a big, deep discount. Like, this is incredible. You get every detail about every scratch. No other company is doing this.
You know what this reminds me of, man? Have you ever seen that clip or the interview that Joe Rogan gives where he talks about the early days of UFC? And he says that him and Dana were talking to and he's like, the only way this ever gets anywhere is it needs a ton of money behind it to just market it to death.
Yes.
Dude, that's tag. The only way this gets somewhere, they need someone with enormous amounts of money to just like dump infinite of money into a marketing budget and just like make it a household name. Because I agree, they built a better system. It's just, how do you educate everybody in the entire hobby to want this over a PSA red tag? I don't know how that works. That's the only thing that keeps me from it.
I don't know, but right now, when you think about the way that everybody grades, you have all the information to make an educated decision on buying a freaking almost perfect card that should theoretically get a 10 anywhere else. Or if you want to chase a black label from Beckett, wouldn't you want this report on, if you could get, let's just say hypothetically, you could get 20 tag 10s of a card. And then you go through these reports with a fine-tooth comb and you pick the 3 best, you're increasing your odds of getting a BGS black label.
Yeah, for sure.
I just think they built a better product, and the only way that this happens, I don't even know if it's money. I think you need a big collector to partner with them silently and say, you know what, enough. I'm sick of the PSA hype. I only want to buy 10s. You want to do business with me? You guys sell me
PSA. But they've tried, though. They have tried.
Have they tried that?
Yeah, they had a couple. Well, again, they denied that they paid anyone, but yeah, they had multiple of like pretty high level content creators pushing tag pretty hard for a while. Okay. And it took off. Like, that's why people know tag, but it wasn't enough to push it to the levels of like a PSA.
Yeah, I just think it's a better product than anything else I've seen.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is I can buy a tag 10 of stuff that I want when I can find it for 50-60% of what PSA is going for. It's crazy.
Again, it's like, you know, the problem with being a content creator and like also investing in this stuff is everything I say always gets taken like, you know, it almost gets taken as like, is he saying this because he really feels this way, or is he trying to protect his position? Guys, I have literally like no position in PSA cards. I make plays on them. I buy them. I'll sell them when they go up. PSA cards are like no position of my overall Pokemon position, right? So I have no reason to like pump PSA. I'm just telling you, like,
oh, it's where the most value is.
Well, it's just very hard to convince an entire market to collect something different. It's so hard.
The problem is,
I'd like to see tag do well.
Why do we want to leave it at faith of the mood of a grader? But don't you want everything to be computerized? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, why do we want somebody who may be in a bad mood, or somebody who doesn't necessarily feel well, or somebody who broke up with their girlfriend or got divorced, or somebody who just got a headache because they didn't drink enough water? Like, why do we want to leave so much a chance?
What about somebody who just got laid the night before then? You got all 10s.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of reasons to want this to go digital.
I agree. I agree. How do I don't know how they do it. That's my only thing.
I don't know. I don't know how you change it because PSA is the dominant position. I mean, Beckett has become one of the worst companies right now, which is crazy because they were the dominant force.
How's like the temperature in the sports card market? I know you pay close attention to that. Are people generally happy, or are you having any like negativity in that side of things?
I think people are thinking the prices for boxes are crazy. I mean, there are boxes that are 10 grand a box.
Come on.
I'm not kidding you.
Who's buying that?
The people on YouTube, and they're ripping them and they're breaking them.
Hold on. Are we talking like new boxes?
Yeah.
Not boxes that have aged a bit, not like a team up or nothing like that.
New boxes. Do you want me to show you? I can go blow out cards and show you.
I don't think you're lying.
No, I know, but it's just like you sound so surprised by that.
I mean, trust me, I see the boxes in the shops all the time. They're always like 500 to 1,000, and and you have some of those high end ones that are a couple. I've never seen a 10K box. That sounds crazy.
Hold on.
That's interesting, man.
A lot of so right now they're sold out. But like National Treasures is very expensive. You have Panini Immaculate Football that's $1,500 a box right now. Prism Football $1,500 a box. National Treasures is the big one that's big for football.
And what do you get, like one pack or something?
Yeah, it's 1 or 2 packs. It's freaking crazy. The most expensive box for baseball right now is special price of $1,600. Top Sterling Baseball Hobby Box. And for $1,600, you get 1 pack per box, 2 cards per pack. I mean, it's crazy. I just shared it. It's legitimately
these
crazy.
companies are just banking, man.
You're guaranteed 1 autograph relic card, limited to 25.
Oh, look, it's on sale. It's on sale for 15.
It's on sale.
That's one of those ones where your wife comes home and says, I got a great deal. It was 40% off.
It doesn't make any sense. And then you got the Topps Update jumbo boxes selling for $1,000 from last year because of the Skeens rookie in it. I mean, it's absolutely freaking wild. Basketball. Oh,
and people in Pokemon are worried about a $10 pack.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wanted to do box. So let's see. That WNBA box is going for $12.5. These are out of stock. Yeah, the prices are wild. Like, it's really wild to see what some of this stuff goes for.
People are paying it. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it.
Okay, so here you go. Flawless. This is the big basketball one. 2-box case, $36,000 from last year. I mean, let's go individual boxes. We'll see. Okay, Topps Mercury, $11,000 a box. It's insanity, this stuff. Insanity.
Well, what's MSRP though?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
Well, I only pay MSRP.
I don't know. But if I look at baseball for this year, and obviously not all the product is out, and we start looking at Topps Chrome, I mean, you're pricing out so many people with the jumbo boxes at $564, and then the hobby boxes at $300. It doesn't make sense.
So the hobby box is like the general, that's like a booster box.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the retail box would be like a booster box and Pokemon. The
Yeah.
difference is that in the hobby box, you're guaranteed one auto card.
Okay.
But still, $300 for a box. I don't think many parents are buying these for their kids.
Right.
And I think that they're doing a disservice to the hobby by like this is something where you are pricing kids out. And I think that that's a problem. I really
agree.
do. I mean, you can't even get the freaking top Series 2 hobby boxes. They're sold out. It's crazy. But yeah, the hobby is alive and well. That's what this means.
Yeah, I mean, now do you think that's a problem in Pokemon at all right now with kids getting priced out?
I think it's going to be hard unless they start doing serialized cards for it to get crazier on release. But if Pokemon takes a page out of Magic's book, and I think it'll be good for them to do serialized cards because here's why: you can never do reprints.
That's always been my
If you do serialized cards and you do different versions, so you take a Charizard base, right, and then you do a Charizard base card, but it's a refractor to 1,000, and then you do gold refractor to 1,000, a silver to 500, a platinum to 100. Then you do another one to 50 and another one to 25, and then you do another one to 1, and you have all those different chase cards. I think that it will do wonders for the hobby because it can ensure reprints can never happen. And also, it'll give levels to the best cards. So like the Moonbryon, imagine if there was a Moonbryon base and then a Moonbryon to 1,000 and a Superfractor of 101. Imagine what that would do to the hobby, having all those different chase cards to go after.
There's only two ways they could do it. Because Pokemon, they pride themselves in being a player game and people can get the playable cards. They would either have to do what Magic does with a collector box, or it would have to be some sort of like reprint set or non-playable set where they like literally say this set isn't tournament legal, it's a collector set. And that way, no players would need them for the game and they could just be
I got an easier way.
What's that?
You just make one more variety. So right now you have the blister packs. You got those box things of like 5 packs.
Booster bundles. You got the ETBs.
You got the ETBs, you got booster boxes.
Yeah.
Make a hobby box. Hobby box has same amount of packs or more packs or less packs, but that's where you get the serialized cards.
Yeah, I agree.
You could do it.
I think it's a great idea.
Or
and what's funny is I don't know how people would attack that. It's just like, well, it's not fair. Those boxes are $1,000. It's like, buy the booster box.
And you can do it. You can even do it this way. One of those booster bundles of 5 packs has a 1 in 1,000 chance of having a serialized card.
You know what else it would do?
Every hobby box or every booster box has guaranteed 1 serialized card. And then make the next product have like 5 serialized cards.
It's funny too. It would lower the price likely of the regular booster box.
Yes.
So then it would make those packs less, more affordable. And it would also give the collectors something more to chase. And then they could still do reprints. They could reprint the booster boxes.
If they want to. There's a lot of things.
But then the hobby boxes would never get reprints. I like that. I think that'd be the best way to like service both bases.
Yep. You got high-end collectors going for one thing, investors going for another, and you still have affordability for the players. And you get rid of the freaking scalpers.
Hey, like I said, you have people complaining here. People complain about this pack when it's $10, $11, right? Not one complaint about this pack being $125.
And the big difference is serialized cards.
Serialized cards. No reprint. It's that simple.
It's that simple. It protects scarcity.
I agree, man. Like we said, I think it all comes back to people want value. They just want to feel like whatever money they are spending, whether it be $10, $100, or $1,000, that they're getting value.
100%. 100%. No question to it.
Want to end it with that?
Yeah, let's end it with that. We've been going for 2.5 hours.
Cool. Guys, Steve, tell them where you can check you out at, man. Shout out some stuff for yourself.
I don't know. Seeking Alpha?
Is it at Dividend Streams on Seeking Alpha, or is it your name?
No, it's my name, but that's my X account handle.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm in it for the hobby, but hobby's not cooperating at the moment. The days of Football Pete selling things for $100 are way gone.
It's gonna be fun to like continue to have you on periodically, and then like eventually splice all of our streams together and just see like the different stages of where the hobby was at like throughout all this time. It's because it's funny. Like the first time I had you on, I think was when product was still available and people were still like thinking this wouldn't succeed and how stupid we were invested. And now we're
arguing that the data shows that it's beat the S&P 500.
Yeah.
If you buy one of every box, because you can't really pick which one's going to do great.
Yep.
If you buy one of every box, the data was showing even when there was a race to the bottom, it was still over the long haul beating the S&P.
Yeah, and now we're in this time, and then who knows, in another 6 months, a year and a half, we'll see what all the streams end up being. But it's like it's going to be funny to see kind of the progression of the market over the time.
And I think that question's hilarious. The only reason I know what Charizard or Moonbreon is because I look at what's selling in the sets. I've never watched it. I've never played the game. I have no connection to it at all.
You sound like Rudy. Rudy talks about it all the time where he's just like, look, I'm not really into Pokemon, but I invest in it.
I like money. Like I saw an inefficiency where this was beating the S&P. I have no connection to it, so I have no interest in opening the product. So I could buy it and put it in a storage unit and leave it there. I mean, that's how this happened.
There it is, folks. Guys, thanks for stopping by, hanging out on Friday night. Big shout out to Amit for stopping by, man. Thank you so much. Steve, thanks for bringing him on, dude. Thank you for coming on, hanging out on a Friday night. It was a good time, dude. We'll do it again soon. All right, guys, we're calling it there. We are out.